Sec. Hey guys. Hey out
Hello.
there. Hello world. I'm so glad you could make it to our show and talk about some Mandela effects with other people who you can definitely affiliate with. Uh, I did a live show earlier, spur of the moment, and we had a really great time discussing things. Mendel was there with us. We were hanging out, just talking, shooting the breeze, and found a couple more Mandela effects. But yeah, let me go ahead and get the show started. Let me introduce you to. First of all, we have this is M Pearl. Say hello.
Hi.
In case you guys haven't seen him before, this is Seeker of Truth. Say hello.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Yep. I wanted to lead with Seeker of Truth because he had a really interesting story to tell about some of the experience that he had today being Mandela and everything. Seeker, why don't you go ahead and share it with the audience?
Yeah, it was really strange. Like when I went to work yesterday, to me it was Thursday, and like I do contract cleaning and stuff like that, and I did like the two contracts that I was supposed to do, and but after I did the contracts, like my dad called me and he said, "Well, can you pick up some stuff from the grocery store and stuff before you come home?" Because my dad's sick and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. And so I did. And all of a sudden, it's like my brain went into like a big brain fart. Like I thought like yesterday was Friday. So like I picked up the stuff that he needed, and like normal on every Friday, I bought him his lotto tickets and stuff like that. And I came home and I gave him his lotto tickets and all of that, and he never said nothing to me. And I come up here and I did the chat and stuff with you guys. And I don't know if you remember me saying, like, you said, "Oh, are you available tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Well, I got to work till at least 10:30 or 11 o'clock because I thought tomorrow was Saturday." And so I got up and I went downstairs, and because there's construction around my house, like there's a lot of digging and stuff going on. They're putting in new sewage pipes and stuff. I didn't have a good sleep, so I had like a mini nap during the afternoon, and I got up and my dad's like, "Oh, it's funny. My buddy just called me, and he said, oh, you want to go play golf tomorrow?" And he's like, "Well, Sunday." And he's like, "No, no, no." He said, "Today's Friday." And so when I got down there, he told me, he's like, "It's not, today's Friday." And I'm like, and I was all like flustered. I was like, "No, it's not Friday. It's Saturday." And then he's like, "No, it's Friday today." And then all of a sudden, like my mind kind of everything jolted together. And I was like, holy crap, like it's 4:30 and I gotta get to work. Because like normally I would go to work around 7 on Saturdays. So I was like, well, what's going on? So I went to work anyway, and I that was okay. But like I was it was just like almost like a day jumped in my brain. And even my father was like he had felt the same thing. Like he had thought it was Saturday too, and only the two of us were feeling that. Like, so I think, I don't know, somehow between that time it was like, I don't know, it's really weird to explain, but I mean, how does that happen? I mean, like you're thinking it's like I should have known it was Thursday, but like I was thinking it was Friday, like yesterday. You know what I mean? Like it was really weird. I don't know if you guys had any of those things with like with your brain or whatever that happened, but I'm just like with the Mandela effect. I'm just anything can happen now.
Yeah. I just been noticing the day just fly right by. Like I just took a shower like half an hour ago. That's probably why you see like my hair kind of messy or whatever. But just the whole day just seems to fly right by.
No, I no, like I've talked about like the hours and the seconds changing like really fast. Like I I've talked about that before, but like to have an actual whole day, it was almost like it was implanted in my head that it was the wrong day. Like I don't know when it happened, but it was like when I was chatting with you guys, it didn't come up or nothing until the end when you said, well, can you come on tomorrow night? And I'm like, well, I work till 10:30, 11 o'clock because I was thinking it was Saturday. But like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
wait, did you think today was Saturday?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Me too. I thought today was Saturday for some reason. I guess that may be because they gave me the day off today or whatever. But oh hey, we got Zenith. So let me see here. Hey Zenith. Zenith, this is your first time with us, buddy. Welcome aboard. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, Zenith.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, pretty good. Why don't you give everybody just a brief introduction? Tell them about your channel. What do you do? Like, just give them a brief intro.
Let me see here. Well, I probably sometime back in 2015. You remember I don't know if the September 23rd. There was a lot of predictive programming videos about September 23rd in 2015 with the Pope coming to visit the White House and whatnot. Anybody familiar with this here?
I'm in.
When did the Pope?
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, maybe not everybody's familiar. All right. So for a while ago, I was watching some like doom and gloom Christian, Bible prophecy things, and I liked some of the conspiracy theory videos and all that. And there was this a whole bunch of people putting these videos out about how 923 is this big thing. So, and people started researching what this all about, and they discovered that one of the things was that CERN was supposedly firing up their LHC around that time, and there was supposed to be these blood moons that were happening around that time, and one of the things was that the Pope was going to make this historical visit to the to DC, and so I kind of got wrapped up in that, and then sometime around there, I don't know if it was just after or just before, I saw some quiz videos about Mandela effect, and I was like, oh, this is definitely something. There's no way he didn't say, Luke, I'm your father, or, the Berenstain Bears. I mean, come on. So there was a number of those things that got me. So I kind of got hooked into that, and it drove me crazy and my friends crazy. So eventually I had to stop. I was watching these, and I found myself talking to strangers, asking them about these things, and most people think you got mental illness at that point.
I know the feeling, brother, and it's just like I wanted to stop like this at some point this week, but lately we've been broadcasting, and I love the feeling of having other people around me that have we all sort of we think alike, we think the same. They say great minds think alike, and we have shared memories, and there's, like you're saying, people around you're having problems connecting with them all the way, and it's just nice to be able to have this community that we have and support.
Brian, what I find funny is that you ask these people, and a lot of them do have the shared memories. This is my issue. They have the shared memories, but they won't acknowledge there's anything special to it.
Exactly. That's my take as well.
Yep, exactly. So, have you had any recent experiences?
Maybe. Well, actually, I did want to bring up a couple that are probably personal to me, but one of the things was I was looking at old videos from the 80s, and I found this thing about pogo ball. Do you remember pogo ball?
Yes, yes, pogo ball.
Pogo ball. Yeah. So the thing is, it's spelt with one L at the end. And I mean, yeah, and I don't remember it specifically being spelled Ball, but sometimes you spell things weird, like Cheez It. I know it's a Mandela effect, but it makes sense that it's spelled with a Z. It's like a cheesy product. It's not really cheese. I mean, maybe there's real cheese in it, but you know what I mean? Like, I understand when they're quirky and they put, like, if something's supposed to be fruity, like a fruit shampoo, they spell it FRUT or something. I get it, but why would you mess around with?
Oh man,
Why
that's
take the last
that
pogo ball,
that's got to be a brand new Mandela. I've never heard of pogo bow.
right? The double stuff. That's another one. Like, why? There's no need to take that F out. That's if there was a quirky reason, or maybe make the design better. I understand. It's either it's Mandela effect, or maybe I'll get into this later. But you brought up Gematria at one point. This is the code. The numerical values of words. A equals 1, B equals 2, whatnot. If you spell something the wrong way, it changes its numerical value.
Mm-hmm.
And that's have something to do with it. That might be for another show, but I think that's definitely part of it. You got guys like Evan Powers. He's been starting to talk about that stuff, and
Yes.
there's a guy that used to do videos. I think he took a break, but Andrew Bakanov, I think his name is Drew. He was all about the Bible stuff, and he noticed there was a lot of gematria involved, or Gematria, whatever you want to pronounce it. So that's something I'd like to get into another show, but
exactly. So with the Gematria, because there's like 4 different. Seems like there's a bunch of different ones. Which one do you follow? Because there's Hebrew. There's different ones.
There's a lot of ones. You can actually there's a group of Gematria detectives out there. If you noticed. And one of the guys he invented a calculator. So he's taken these existing ciphers, if you will, and put them into a calculator. So you can just type in your name, type in Brian, and it'll give you all these different. Like if it's just like A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. That's ordinal, or what you might call simple. But there's another way. Like say if you're looking at N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. So it could be value of 14, but 1 plus 4 equals 5. So in a reduced method, that's N equals 5. So what I would do is like the reduced, like the regular value, ordinal or simple. Z is 26. You know what I mean? But there's also stuff that takes into account ciphers that take into account capital letters. So like A is 1 all the way to Z is 26. That's easily understood. When you get to capital A, that's the 27th. So if you have
Guys, there's a cop sitting outside my front door. I have to see what it's about. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh boy.
Don't open the door. Just kidding.
Yeah. Well, hang on. I gotta call. Hang on. I gotta call my mom real quick.
What's the matter?
I don't know. The cop's knocking on the door.
What?
Yeah,
this is
seriously.
a live show.
Yeah. I know.
Hello. Is anybody still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
What we were going to talk about pyramids. What was the catalyst of that conversation? What?
Oh well, I brought up last broadcast that about well, we all know about the Egypt pyramids and stuff, but there's a lot being seen in Antarctica and stuff.
Oh.
There's some that because of the melting that they're seeing, at least, well, from what I've seen from certain videos, there's at least 2 or 3 pyramids that have surfaced. I can't confirm the number, but I mean, it's obviously been seen. You can see it in Google Maps.
Do you mean like the ice melts and pyramids are starting to peak above the ice?
Yeah, they're coming right out of because of the changing of the climate. Yeah, they're obviously pyramid shaped. Has anybody else seen that?
No, I haven't. Well, I've heard of some, but not the recent ones.
Like if you go on Google, like if you have the Google Earth app on your computer or your iPad or whatever you have, you can zoom in down there and you can clearly see that they're pyramid shaped. So like I don't know if they're who's to say what's going on. I'm not saying that they're actual pyramids, but I mean they look like pyramids is what I'm saying.
I mean, they might not necessarily be the sort of mystical, magical ones from the big three in Egypt, but who knows, man? There's something going on though, for sure.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this, but if someone else I was talking to like a month or so ago, I was asking him about the dimensions of a pyramid, and he was telling me about, well, which one? There's this, there's that one, and then there's like hundreds here, and I'm like, what? I didn't realize it was so many out there. And then now there's some resurfacing. I gotta look into this.
Oh, I hope Brian's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Interesting. Well, what about the World Trade Towers?
What did you hear about that, Em? What did you want to bring up about that?
Well, apparently now some people remember bridges on it, which I don't.
Okay. Yeah, there was a video. Brian just put a video on that. I never even heard of that.
No, not same here.
See, I'd like to say something that would, so I've seen a number of, like I said before, I took a break from the Mandela stuff. I really had to. And then when I came back, I saw a lot of like these, just tons of these videos just surface, and even some like teeny boppers, and school kids and stuff talking about, OMG, this and that. And the comments, they're all agreeing with the most bizarre ones. I'm like, really? Everybody's agreeing almost, and I'm glad. It's good to see that we can be honest and be like, well, I don't really remember that one, or
Exactly.
I mean, I guess this is the theory that we're could be all in slightly different timelines and all this. I don't know which theory. I've heard a few. I don't know which one I can buy into exactly, but
There's definitely a lot out there, but the one that seems to be the most looked into is CERN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think what led me to those videos. The CERN was like I was saying in the beginning, they were worried about CERN firing up the LHC there, and I barely knew about any of that stuff, and all of a sudden I got these Mandela effect videos popping up in my feed, and I got hooked. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you watch CERN's video about their elaborate show, I mean, if you look at it, it's horrible. I mean, they're dancing and they got weird
those promo
stuff
videos.
going on, and
Yeah, the symmetry and stuff. I saw a number of those, and there was one that I was wasn't sure if it was CERN or not. It definitely seemed referencing CERN. There was one. There was like a grand opening of a tunnel somewhere.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that put out by CERN, or is it they're just sort of like referencing or attributing to them?
Well, I mean, obviously they were right there, and I mean, you could see the crowd's reaction to what's taking place. Like it was the CERN people doing this, and I mean, they had like weird pictures going up on the screen and stuff, and
That was creepy. What's that called? We should say that in case of people listening haven't seen this video, because that, be wary while you're watching it. It's pretty disturbing.
it is very disturbing.
Don't watch it with the kids, I guess, or I don't know what. It's not even, you can't put a title on why it's disturbing. It's definitely disturbing. But what was it? The grand opening of which tunnel?
I don't remember the name of the tunnel, but they were having a big thing about it, and I mean, they even had like stands built so people can watch this. Like, it was almost like when I went to New York and watched Cats. Like they're putting on a big show, right? So, like, it was the same thing that CERN was doing, and it was under them, like, for this whole, for what, a tunnel opening up, like
Yeah, well, I know
I don't understand. I don't understand why that.
I don't know if I'm get this wrong, but well, for sure, what I heard was that it was the longest tunnel, like I guess ever, the longest distance tunnel or something, and there was something else about, but I guess there was some symbolism or something, maybe something to do with goats and
Oh,
walk the goat across the. I don't know if you can finish my thought here. I'm losing it.
no, they had pictures of, like, they had people coming down with wires in front of the screen, and they had, like you said, about the goat, and then they actually had a guy that looked like a Satan type head
Baphomet,
person, and
that
it was just like you said, disgusting. Like, I don't even want to talk about it, like, on air.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I mean, watch it, like, to your own discretion or whatever, but I mean, it's just horrible.
I had to watch it in pieces. I didn't see the whole thing, but I had to stop every few minutes. I was like, no, what? At some point I was like watching a car wreck. You kind of want to see what's going on, but you're like, oh, yeah. So that's definitely understand that, and that's where it was. I didn't know the location. That's in Switzerland there.
Yeah, Switzerland, French border.
Yeah.
Switzerland border.
So I can't. I'm on my phone right now. I can't really see the chat or see who's on. So who's the guys here? There's the guy, Canadian accent. What's your name?
You call that Canadian, eh?
No. It's funny. But no. Yeah, you kind of have a pretty heavy. You're from Canada, right?
Yeah, definitely not New York.
Definitely not New York. What's what do you go under? What's your
Well, like, I don't care. My name's Corey. Like, my name on YouTube is Seeker of Truth.
Seeker of Truth? Yeah, to me that would stand out more because I'd see your like avatar if you made comments or something. So Seeker of Truth, and who's the other fellow there?
Oh, I go by M Pearl on YouTube. Pearl's my last name, and M is short for my first name, so M is fine.
I think I saw a video of yours just recently. This is yesterday or the day before. Did you have a Home Depot video recently?
Not Home Depot. No, I've done a few in the last few days.
Oh, okay. I can't remember which one. It's funny. You like sometimes you just get into surfing and you're just seeing a lot of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, Brian has been gone a while. I imagine if you got in trouble, they'd say, "Oh yeah, go ahead and power down your computer."
I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm okay. Apparently, I'm being sued for the car accident where I lost my eyesight. So that's all it is. I'm being served. It's all good.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Brian.
No, that's cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow.
They were shining the flashlight through the blinds, and the dog was barking like crazy. I thought they were coming after me, man.
Yeah, you were going wild. We were getting a little worried.
I thought I wasn't coming back.
Mandela police.
It's one thing to get bumped out of the Hangouts on live, and it's another to go to jail.
I was thinking Zenith didn't put the right tip on the steak yesterday. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I know the Lord has everything in His hands, so I'm not worried.
No,
Yeah,
well, amen to that. Amen to that. I mean, it sucks that happened, but you know what I mean. Like, you're a great guy, and hopefully it'll work out for you.
I understand that. It's happened to me too.
Gosh, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there,
Yep.
But so what's the gist of what you guys were talking about? Like,
Well, we were hoping, like we were talking about you hopefully being back, and we talked a little bit about M talked about the trade centers, and I don't know if there's anything else he wanted to talk about it.
Like what about the trade centers?
Oh, about the video that you did earlier.
Oh yeah, like I know people were talking about like on Facebook and stuff, like these bridges that connected two buildings and now they're not there.
You're talking about it on Facebook.
Like I've seen it. I've seen people mention it. There was a video somebody made about it, and I figured I'd research it a little bit. I don't remember those bridges, but I'm not saying they didn't exist. And somebody said to research into like some of the building plans. I'm not sure who it was. It might have been Tom or somebody. Oh, you too? Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking blueprints somehow.
Right. Oh, it's funny.
You got the Mario Brothers movie, and you also have other things that are referring to the bridge.
Yeah, well, it's funny how like one thing leads to another with the Mandela effect. You know, like it really is a rabbit hole. And let me just see real quick, because some of you weren't here earlier when we did the video. There's the thing about the pogo ball. This is just, I was looking up Men in Black stuff, right?
That's it.
Look at that. There's the cartoon Men in Black. Where's the mustache? I want to know.
I think you that one.
Teresa sent these in. You know, we were talking about that earlier. Where's the mustache, right?
Exactly.
None. And then we got into talking about the, hang on. Yeah, Super Mario Brothers, folks.
There you go.
That looks very different to me.
Yep.
Do you remember? Go ahead and play your old Mario game. See if it looks normal, or does it look like this?
To me, the Mario Brothers is too big, like the fonts. I don't know. Like, that's what I see. I'd never heard of it till now. But to me, like, looking at it right now, like, and the P's and the R's are a little weird too, so.
The P, definitely.
Yep.
Font, and I mean, everything seems to be pretty, to me, the size looks good. The color scheme looks good. But when you pointed out the E and the P, and they broke R's, I didn't really think about it. It's possible, to me, it's possible it could have been there, but now that you pointed out, it looks very odd, especially the P.
Yeah, the P is really weird.
So let's take a vote in the chat. Do you guys remember Mario Brothers looking like that? The old Super Mario Brothers game. I could have sworn that was a regular B. It wasn't broken like that.
It doesn't even look like a B now.
No, it doesn't.
I was thinking you were talking, Ryan, plenty these days about the broken numbers. I mean, the broken letters, sorry. And also, I don't know if it was you or Life Matrix, somebody's talking about maybe we're sort of in a matrix or something like that, and, the veil's being torn down, all this stuff. If we were in some kind of a matrix, just picture, maybe it's a sci-fi movie, but forget it's real life, maybe, whatever. Here's the scene where we're in the Matrix. Your computer, when it starts to crash, doesn't thing just pixelate weirdly? And
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Exactly. That's it.
Like the pixels running down or something. Like they're bleeding. The pixels are bleeding.
I like the green color, yeah.
Like that taxi company that has that weird sort of, what is it, an R linking to an A? Like it looks like an A. I think it's a three letters standing for something, but I think it's a taxi company or whatever. And I think the R links in with the L, or an F linking to an L, but the way that it's connected doesn't make sense at all. And it kind of looks like a weird A. And it's like, anyways, like I said, the computer crashing will definitely make the letters warp and slightly raise up or fall down.
I am kind of curious about
Brian, when you're away, Brian, Testimonial wanted to get on. I don't know if you want to add or not.
Yeah, that's fine, I guess. I'm sure she has some stuff to share too. That's fine.
I'm having a delay here on my cam too. I don't know if anybody else is, but
Well, I wanted to get a little bit more acclimated and everything with what Zenith had to say, and you know, hear him out a little bit more.
yeah.
And, I mean, he brought up some really interesting points here. I mean, it's waking us up more and more.
Oh, are you talking about the gematria a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. What's the deal with the threes? Like, because everybody's been talking about the patterns of threes. Maybe you could elaborate some on that, or tell us what you found in the patterns of numbers.
Sorry,
I might have missed that whole bit. I'm sorry.
no, it sounded jumbled up there. I didn't hear. What were you saying about threes?
Like the patterns of like threes, they keep popping up, threes and sixes, and all these 11s and 22s and 33. What are they all about? You know?
You know, I know. I haven't studied like symbolism. I just started noticing more and more things about how you talk about coincidences and synchronicities and stuff. So I notice these things popping up. You know, like I'm one of the first ones to be like, "Hey, that thing looks like a 666." You know, and people want to roll their eyes about that, but you know, if it, you know, if it swims like a fish and it's in the water and you know whatever, like maybe there's something to it. I don't know about specifically about threes and sixes, but I did notice that there were certain things that seemed to have a satanic, oh, not even satanic, but whatever. Like triple sixes is known as the mark of the beast, right? The number of man, and or not the mark of the beast, number of the beast. And you know, if you look into the number values, you're going to find not only like, so we talked about it has different ciphers. In one cipher, something might equal 666, but if you do it in the reverse, the reduced, it might be, let's say, 216. But if you're even a little bit savvy with math, you might go 216 is 6 times 6 times 6, you know? Or if you break it down even further, something that's 18 could be 6 plus 6 plus 6. I mean, I know it seems like it's just playing with numbers, but the thing is how many coincidences and how much does the numbers have to match up for it to be not just a coincidence? No, I mean that's like a real question. Same thing with the Mandela effect. You know, forget the numbers because I know this is not the Gematria show. But we'll get back to that. But the reason I want to talk about this is because okay, forget about the values of the numbers. Think about this. The guys these days, guys and gals studying the Gematria these days, we're looking at obviously letters. What's their number values? There's a time factor, you know. So you're looking into someone's birthday, how far from when they were born to when they died. Let's say they have a 616 throughout their life. Well, it might be that they, you know, they died 666 weeks after they were born, or something. You know what I mean? Like, or you know, their birthday, their exact date of, let's say, death, time of death, because we're all very specific. When someone dies, you write exactly what time. 11:06. You know, oh my God, that's a 666 minute. I mean, it's not all about 666, but I bring that up because we're noticing a lot of the words and logos that have the hidden 666. So, you know, and also these days with the people looking at the gematria and stuff like that, Bible knowledge and Bible study and stuff like that seems to be a big part of it. And I noticed that in the Mandela effect community, it's the same thing. The word of God's being changed, supposedly. You know, I mean, I've read the whole Bible, but when I read it, I was looking at different, you know, books. There's so many different translations. So I can't attest to that wasn't there or that word wasn't there. I can't attest to that stuff. But people in the Mandela effect community are looking at Bible stuff, and so is the Gematria community. Time is a factor. Time is a factor in the Mandela effect. It's time lines and things, you know, and when a lot of us now are talking about when you look at this word of this logo, it looks like it has an 11, or it looks like a 3 turned on its side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I know exactly.
Like even look at ME. ME, you know, like here's something I was working on just recently. My most recent video is like one of the most simplest things if you're not into Gematria. It's probably the most simplest thing. Just looking at the word ME, the 13th letter of the alphabet. E is the 5th, and if you push them together, it looks like 135, right? If you add 135 plus its reverse, you know, as above, so below, and all that kind of stuff, 135 plus 531 equals 666. And
Holy crap!
yeah, there's a whole thing. I mean, I recommend watching my first two and my last two videos. I mean, those are probably the more simpler ones. I mean, I go deeper into different ciphers and stuff, but just looking at ME, right? So I got the 135, right? And then I noticed that if you spell out Volvo logo, because that's one of the bigger ones, Volvo logo, in the simplest form gematria of ordinal, that equals 135. Was in 13 plus 5 equals 18, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6. Again, I said 13, 5. On the clock, 135 is 95 minutes. And the word Mandela effect equals 95 in ordinal. Right? And you could just look at different effects, like this neighborhood, you know, that was a big thing. For me, I was like, it's this beautiful day in this neighborhood. You do that. Yeah, Mr. Rogers, that equals 95 in the reduced cipher. Right? And I noticed that the 95th day of the year is 4/5, April 5th. Holy Bible equals 45 and reduced. Febreze with the you know, the way we remember it. Febreze equals 45 reduced. Volvo logo equals 45 reduced. M is the 13th letter, right? But if you do 1 plus 3, that's 4. E is the 5th. 4, 5. 45. I mean, it goes on. If you just type in like CERN LHC, it's 36 and reduced. 36 is like, you know, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, all the way to 36. They call that the triangular number. I don't want to do math class. I'm sorry. I don't want to turn into that, but I noticed
No, everything you're sharing is interesting. Like, seriously, I've never heard of this before.
Well, I recommend, you know, if you have a lunch hour with nothing to do, I only have about 20 videos, and they're all about 3 to 5 minutes long. I recommend watching. You know, take one lunch break. I don't mean to be like, oh, add to my views or anything. It's not about that. Try to break it down simple. I know you're sub to at least one gematria guy, and he's awesome, but he's like hard to follow. He has so much heavy information that you know, you could definitely get lost in it. I try to keep it so simple that, you know, I even talk slower than I normally would, and as if, you know, people make fun of me like, you know, you're talking like we're in kindergarten. It's not about that. It's just that who wants to sit there and listen to this is that prime number and that divided by that? We're not in math class, but there's symbolism in all these things. I really think, and I think it's something to look into. Is at least a little bit.
Yes, kind of like Sheldon Cooper's number 73 is really interesting because it's the 37th prime number. I don't know. Did a lot of you know that, or?
Well, I'd just say that God definitely didn't put me into the Mandela effect for math, because I'm like math, like, you know, immature pretty much. Like, I think a 9th grader could do better math than I could, but I've been more like languages too. I got that other side of the brain that it's more for artistic and other stuff like that. So I mean, all hats off to you guys that figure out like all these sequences of numbers and stuff like that. Like, it's amazing to hear, like, because I wouldn't even figure it out myself. Like, it's amazing. Like, I hear some videos and I hear you guys talk about it, and it's just it's crazy how the numbers kind of all sink into one. It seems to be a common thread anyway. So
They do.
Go ahead. Sorry, Zenith. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one thing. I was gonna say, if you go to my, I'm not trying to sit there and plug my channel, but if you go to my channel, Zenith the Alpha America, you could just, and I'll put in the comments or something after the video's over what it is. I'll put a link. You should just watch my first 2 videos. It's like so simple, and I do this crazy thing with the 88. I don't know, you know, I had this weird inspiration to just look at the number 88, and I break it down so that a third grader could understand it. You know what I mean? And everybody I've shown that to, like in real life, has been like, "What?"
Yeah.
And some people got even afraid. They're like, "What? Are you in the Illuminati or something?" You know, like it's just like you look at some. I just look at the shapes of letters and say, "Okay, this is interesting." And you can put this letter here, and it looks like that. Just watch my first 2 videos. Seriously, you're gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. And here's something else. You know, and I know this is you just mentioned 88. I just thought of something else like 8 times 8, 64. You know, what's the highest like chip we have? We have 64-bit. Most everything is built on 64-bit architecture these days.
Oh, I used to have a Commodore 64.
What is it?
But I
Is
mean,
it
I
is
know
it
what
2
you
to
mean.
88
I mean,
power?
by the chip,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, it's funny. I had a Commodore 64, and the floppy disks were hilarious.
Yeah, well, it's interesting how the floppy disk was where they got the idea for spinning hard drives from.
Yeah, yeah.
The hard drives that we know and use today, and then we went to solid state.
Well, they probably had them done even when it come out back then. Like they're
Talking
so
about-
ahead. They're so ahead, and they're not telling us. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, talking about floppy disk, what year did it come out? Was it first or was it before? There's an Mandela effect about floppy disks now too.
Really?
Yeah, apparently now DVDs were out at the same time as a floppy disk.
You mean DVDs or CD-ROMs?
No, DVDs.
No
I
way.
wouldn't doubt it. You know what? I mean, you know, like the regular customer isn't gonna see. Oh, I don't know. Are you talking about mass marketed to like regular people, like everyday households?
No, I'm not sure. I don't think it was you, Brian, but someone did a Mandela effect video on floppy disk and DVDs, and apparently DVDs came out in the 70s when I thought they came out, for example, as well in the 90s. But they apparently were out many years before.
And that's it's understandable sometimes. I mean, I understand how technology is like super expensive. You know, that's the other side of the coin. You know, people are going to say, "Oh, it was super expensive back then," and they didn't have the means to produce it or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the technology was probably there. Let me look it up real quick because you got my mind going about that now. I was going to relate the pyramid conversation to knowledge, and you know how Zenith has been presenting so much knowledge to us with the numbers. And the unfinished pyramid on the back of the dollar bill represents that hidden knowledge that we're supposed to find out for ourselves, which was going to lead me into the discussion about the pyramids. And there's something probably very Masonic about that date, 1776. Zenith, do you know anything about 1776? On the
well, I mean, I could if you told me to come back in a couple of days, I could give you a good probably something good. But something that comes to my mind, first of all, when you say that on the back of the dollar bill, right underneath that pyramid, you can see in small print. It has the Roman numerals.
Yes.
That spell out 1776.
Let's look at that real quick. Let me share my screen for a second. And
while you're looking for that, that's another thing that's basically gematria. It's letters into numbers. You know, and they put that in. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but they do. They put that in our face, and I think subliminally we're looking at. You don't even have to read it or understand it. They put it in your face. How many times you see something like an A1 clause or an A1 taxi or something like that, or you know, even on the dollar bills, if you look at the front side where the president's face and stuff is, you can see. Let's say for a $1 bill, there's a black circle where the seal normally would go. off to the left, like in probably a half an inch or so from the left side of it, you can see a big circle with a number on it. Let's say it says 1. The first digit of the serial number is A. If you see 2, I'm sorry, if you see B, that first serial number is 2.
I'm sorry, we're sort of losing you a little bit, Zenith.
Yep.
Zenith, you there?
Oh yeah. So I see you got the picture up. Yeah. So I'm saying underneath the pyramid you have the sequence of letters that spell out 1776. Like M is 1000, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I don't think I can make it bigger, but yeah. So you got M, D is 500, C is 100. So you got 2 of those C's. L is 50, X is 10. So I don't know who here listening or even inside the chat and stuff know about Roman numerals, but that's another thing that's put on our face, like on the Super Bowls and all this. You know what I mean? Every year.
Yes. Yes.
People don't know how to read it, but they know this is Super Bowl 51. That's LI. Subliminally being taught these letters. There's numbers, everything.
What does it mean?
I'm sorry, what?
What did you say these numbers mean?
It means 1776. M is 1000. Think of like millennium.
Yes.
Okay, D is 500. I don't know what to equate with that. Maybe like a roll of dimes is 500 pennies. So whatever. So
Yeah.
D is 500. C is 100. L is 50. X is 10. V is 5. And I is 1. And if you add those all together, that's going to be 1776.
Hey, Brian.
Yes.
I just noticed. Did you notice that the numbers in Novus below the pyramid, letters, and they're connected?
Yeah, I just noticed that too. Like if you look at the V and the U and
And R and D.
R and the D.
Yeah, it's like, how do they decide which ones are going to be connected? That's so weird. It's not just your generic typewriter.
And if you go to the rest of the bill, letters are connected as well.
Oh, are they all connected? Oh, okay. Then it's.
Well, not all of them, but certain letters.
Let's ask the audience, all the people in the chat, and Teresa. Teresa, you there? We got Teresa with us too, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't mention her. She's here hanging out with us. Teresa.
I'm sending more stuff.
Okay, she's sending me more residues. Look at the guys. Look at the C and the O. I mean, excuse me, the O and the E on Coeptus. Has that always been like that, or is that something? Do you think that's Mandela?
And what's next?
What? Because that's Latin words. I think sometimes they connect. Like, I don't know Latin, but there's a band called Tool that has an album called Anima, and I think they connect the A with the E, and I think that's just how it's spelled. Like that's a letter in itself.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this third word right here, seclorum. I know it says seclorum. It part of my mind wants to put an I right there between the. Looks like it could be seclorium. I don't know.
I just think that, like, if you look at the founding fathers and everything that started back with Washington, it was all about like the Freemasonry and the all-seeing eye, and I mean, whatever secrets they got. I mean, you can watch the movie, National Treasure, and it's not anything close to what's going on. But I mean, you can almost watch that and just you can see how how many documents are out there that are like you don't see. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like like that movie. That's a good example because that has some little secrets for kids watching. Not even kids, just people just watch the movie. Like, wow, I never knew that. That's like the book for dummies. Not, I don't mean dummies, but like what you said. That's not even close to what probably is the wealth of knowledge that's out there about it. Same thing with like Da Vinci Code and stuff like that. It has this hidden knowledge that's being presented to the normal everyday person going to the movies. Like there's a lot more hidden knowledge than that. But it's a good introduction. I think that's a good movie. That's a good movie.
Oh, it was.
Which one? Which movie?
National Treasure and Da Vinci.
Yes, yes.
Da Vinci Code, yeah.
Both very good movies. See, and I looked up
Oh.
like people that are like Robert Langdon. I couldn't find anybody. You know, honestly, I'm sure they're out there.
What about Robin Langdon?
No, I mean like people. What do they call those people that analyze?
Symbologist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried looking them up. I can't seem to find anyone. Have you ever seen any real people like Robert Langdon?
I don't know if that's an official title, but I'm like trying to be that. You know, I mean, I looked into little, you know, what does this triangle mean? Why is there a triangle here? You know, like for instance, someone put a video out. I forget how to pronounce his name, Tom Hickett or something like that, or whatever it is. He put a video about the Saturn logo and the Saturn word that has like the A that does not have a line in the middle, and then he noticed that the U and the R are connected. And, it's like there's something more to that too. Like, what is this arrow that's pointing up? It's kind of like an A, and I thought of, well, it's an upside down V. Sure, V is the symbol for female, kind of like a chalice.
Right.
The A without the line pointing upwards is basically the phallus, the chalice and the phallus. You know, not to be vulgar, definitely not to be vulgar, but it's just, you know, if you're looking at that, there's another Mandela effect. The
It is.
Volvo logo. It's
Yep.
Volvo. You know what I mean? If you think about the Volvo with the male symbol, like if you think about what the word Volvo means, you know, like it isn't. I don't know. There's some kind of hints that these effects that are coming out, whether they're supernaturally put there, or someone's going back in time, or whether it's God, or whether we just have really bad memories. There's a reason. There's a theme to these changes.
Well, the Saturn logo changed twice for me.
Saturn logo did?
Yeah, twice. First it was the A, and then it was the U and R.
Wow.
Because I distinctly remember there being a separate U and R in the logo.
But back to what you were saying, Brian, I don't know if there's an official like profession as symbologist, but there's definitely people. I mean, you can read books. You can go to the library now and get a armload of books about what does this symbol mean. You know, what does a triangle pointing downwards mean? It's not just. It could be other things. Like I read somewhere that the triangle pointing down could signify rain, and on it, it's weird. It's weird, but that people devote time to writing books about this stuff, so you know people are reading it. I don't know if you can make any money off of it, but you definitely can get a little bit more insight.
And like the forefathers, the founders of our country believed, I guess, knowledge is power. I guess, you know, the more we know.
Well, knowledge is power. All right, I was talking to my buddy about this. The what's the cross logo? The car company. Oh, Chevrolet.
Really.
And we were about to watch a movie, and they had the Chevrolet logo, just cross. I don't think they had a word, just up there for like 20 minutes before the movie started. And he's like, "Now I want to buy a Chevrolet." You know, I think it's funny. Whatever. I don't know if it works or not, but you think about just the symbol itself. Okay, it's a literally positive, like it's a plus sign. You know what I mean? It's literally positive, even if you don't with it all or anything like that. But there's a lot of people in this world who say Jesus Christ, you know, he's the good guy, you know. But whereas if you see, let's say most people would attribute not most people, a lot of people would attribute like a pentagram to Satan, especially if it's aimed in a certain way. And I don't want to get into that, but just certain, like an X. Think about Xbox, you know, like the video game company there.
Sure.
I don't know the exact story, but I heard there was somewhere they just didn't want to put it out there, so they thought it was such a bad idea because think about it, X. It's a giant X. You know what I mean? Like that just means don't. No, that's just no. You know. Meanwhile, if you tilt that X and it's a cross, suddenly it's a positive thing. I think there's like what do you call that? Like little subtle influences that these symbols and words and even colors have on us. You know, you might just shrug it off and say, well, whatever, but it's working on you and me on a subtle level. These changes, you know, whatever's making this happen, whatever's making us notice it, sometimes it's like people point out a negative thing. I saw a video about, there was a movie called Annie from way back in the day, where she sang "Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow, you're only a day away."
Yeah.
But I guess there's been a lot of covers in the newer remakes and stuff where it said you're always a day away, meaning, and he pointed out in the video that you're always a day away. It's like a negative sort of thing. Like, I can't wait till tomorrow till I can get my parents back or something, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You're always a day away, meaning like you can never quite get there. This is what he said in the video. I forget the guy's name, but if you're only a day away, all it is you're waiting one more day. I don't mean to take the guy's work. I just thought it was kind of a profound message right there. It's just one word could change the meaning of it, kind of.
Yes. It changes the meaning of it. Like, you're always a day away versus you're only.
Yeah.
You know, there's another one. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that Mary Poppins song, right? There's another Mandela effect that's similar like that, changes the meaning slightly, and it goes in. It was in the most delightful way. Now it's in a most delightful way. Now, if you listen to it,
It was in me.
Spoonful of sugar. Have you heard that one?
What was it again, Brian?
Have you heard of the spoon? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in blank.
It's supposed to be
Delightful way.
it makes the medicine go away. Isn't
Makes
that
the
what
medicine go down.
go
In
down?
the most or a most.
I know this song
Okay.
from what I
Maybe
remember.
maybe I got it wrong.
No, there's no wrong.
No, I think I was wrong on that one. I haven't watched Mary Poppins in a long time, so.
So just the word changing makes it a different meaning, and absolutely. And there was another. Speaking of that movie, I think is it the same one that had like doe, a deer, a female deer? Is that the same movie?
Yes, that's correct.
So there was
that one.
Yeah.
Well, let me say that one's The Sound of Music, Tom, and the other one is Mary Poppins. But they're both
Sound
similar
of Music. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're
They're
right.
both-
Mary Poppins. Right.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Tom. I mean, we're all cool. It's the same actress.
There you go, Julia. What's her name?
But yeah, and that's another thing. I wonder what kind of Mandela effects we'll find in Sound of Music, and they're so slight. It's like they're like small changes, glitches in reality, and
We just have to look for them and find them. I mean, anything could be a suspect, but it's like we won't know about till we come stumbling across it.
And what
huh?
I would just say
Well, we're talking about pyramids. What?
I was just gonna say what's sad is that like
Right.
some of you that are older than me like know about Sound of Music and stuff like that. And that's a little bit above when I was born, but I mean like you guys know about that change. So like I know about the changes from my era. So if this keeps going on for another 20 years, like there's going to be a lot of knowledge lost. You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
And it's actually very, very sad. Think about it, because the mind is a terrible thing to waste. The mind is a terrible thing to waste, they say. And
yeah, well, like I said yesterday, it's like I had a big brain fart. Like it was Saturday today. You know what I mean? Like I was ready to go to work at 7 o'clock.
well, you know what that means, though, right? That means you have a whole extra day in your weekend now.
There you go.
Well, yeah, I
Bright side.
look at it that way, but I mean, it's just I don't understand how it happened. Like it was, and even my father told me like today's Saturday, and I'm like, yeah, and then it just turned out like we were both wrong. It was Friday. Like it was like we both woke up thinking it was Saturday. It was if it was just me alone, I could blame it on being stupid. But like I mean, both of us knowing it was Saturday, like today, that's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Brian.
They hit the mute there.
Sorry, guys. I was trying to send Becky a message. She's not going to be able to join with us tonight, and I'm sure she really wants to and everything. She's got some stuff she's taking care of. So I'm just trying to email her back real quick. I did want to bring up another. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go, so I'll talk with you guys later.
Have a good one, Pearl.
Okay, Em.
Nice talking to you, Em.
Hey, have a good one, man.
See you guys as
Yeah.
well.
All right, have a good one.
Yep.
Good seeing you again.
Yep. Take
Godspeed.
care, buddy.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
man.
night. Enjoy that 16-hour day, by the way.
Well,
So,
maybe,
you know,
hey, yeah, Brian, maybe you can add Becky now. I don't know if she's free, but I think she's a little scared to add on because, like, you had some people on and stuff, so she's
That's right.
a little
Come in.
timid.
Oh, it's okay. She's always welcome in here.
Yeah, just send her a link or something. Maybe see if she'll join. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine.
Where's Rena at? Is she doing
Yeah.
something?
She's still captive right now. She's held captive.
Oh, that's right. Still hung up for the beast. No, just kidding.
Yep, she's captive right now. Yeah.
Did you
yeah,
guys
we're
ever?
gonna pray for her.
Yeah.
Huh?
No,
I
was
said we're
just
gonna pray for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, did you guys ever notice like I don't know, it just seems to be lately that there's a lot of Greek and Roman references. Like
Lettering, like lettering and stuff.
no, well just like I mean, for example, say Wonder Woman just come out and she was born from Zeus and stuff like that. And I'm an avid reader and I read the I mean they're more for kids, but I read the Rick Riordan books there, and like there's a lot about like Zeus and Apollo, and then they switch over to like the Greek things, and they even like look with the planets, like you say Jupiter, you know what I mean? Like it's like if you I don't know, I've seen some videos saying like BB Earthwatch is a big believer that Jupiter or Saturn or whatever is like something to do with Nibiru or what's going on with
Well,
certain
they say
things, you know what I
Nibiru.
mean?
They say Nibiru has like an elliptical orbit that it's supposed to disrupt the gravity or whatever and knock some of these little meteorites that surround us in a belt like way out there.
In the Kuiper Belt, yeah.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when you look up Nibiru on Wikipedia,
Yeah.
it's interesting how it says that Nibiru cataclysm.
So what's that?
It says here is a supposed disastrous encounter between Earth and a large either a collision. Like, how do they know it's supposed?
No, but if you look in the Bible,
near
Brian, in the Bible, the Nibiru is actually in the Bible. Like I think it might not be
It's in there?
Nibiru, but it's Nemesis or something like that.
It's actually wormwood. It's
that's what I get about.
Sorry, yeah, you corrected me. It's Wormwood, yeah, but I mean it goes by like 1,000 names: Planet X, Planet 9, Planet whatever. Like there's so many different ones, but
Different names, but same thing they're trying to say, right?
yeah.
Oh, Men in Black. I don't think did they mention Nibiru, or at least that's what I thought of when I was reading about Nibiru. When I saw Men in Black, probably I said part 2. They talk about something very like that, don't they? Is that
do they?
well?
They said about Orion's belt, like in the first one, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right. Orion's belt. Yeah.
You guys want to laugh? Watch part 2. I think it's like kind of you don't see it on TV hardly. I mean, I don't even watch TV anymore, but it was one of those like hard to find ones. When I saw it halfway through, I was like, "Whoa, that was." Anyways, I think that was the beginning of part 2 where they had what I was talking about. It reminded me of Planet X or Nibiru or something like that. Yeah, if you come across it, too, give it a watch.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, that I think with all this Will Smith references, they're trying to point us in that direction. Let me share some pictures with you from the movie.
Yeah,
This-
the synchronicity is working with Men in Black tonight, I guess.
Hey, you want to
Look at
hear
this.
some? I had a dream about 4 nights ago or 5 nights ago, and the way it started out was like by the edge of the water, and I had this long gold like telescope or spyglass about 2 feet long, and then you know, I was looking up at the moon, and when I was looking at it with this telescope, I actually saw glowing with like the outline of the United States. Like you're almost looking at the Earth, but it was actually on the moon. And then I got some water on the telescope. Then next scene I saw, when I looked back up, I see this huge asteroid coming to Earth. I mean, you could see it, and it was like dark, but it like hadn't even entered the atmosphere because it would start glowing from the friction. It was so huge, and I just said to myself, I mean, there wasn't even a moment to get scared. I mean, there it goes. It's the end of the world. Let's go ahead and a little bit, and then it'll be over in a spark. But that dream, I haven't had a real vivid dream like that in years, and I mean that thing just stood right out.
That's crazy. Just
Yeah.
to warn you, before the asteroid come, it wasn't any mermaids. They're manatees. It's an illusion.
Huh?
I guess you don't get that joke.
No.
Sailors used to be out for so long that they used to look on the rocks and they'd see mermaids, what they thought were women that were really hot, but they were actually manatees, like,
Oh, okay.
and so they thought they were mermaids, so they jump in the water like after these beautiful women and they drown to death. So that's just a little fun fact out there.
Well,
So
it's
when
funny
you're-
when you said the moon,
Yeah.
right? And you were looking up pyramids, and guess what comes up with Pink Floyd and Trim and all that stuff we were talking about? It's all
Oh.
interrelated. Look at this: the dark
yeah.
side of the moon with the
Yeah,
pyramids.
the dark side. Yeah, you know.
Oh, Pink
Look
Floyd.
at that.
Pink Floyd, eh? Pink Floyd
don't
knew
forget
what's
the rain.
going on.
Absolutely. Do you guys ever see the sync with the Wizard of Oz?
No, can you show us or share it?
I definitely can't show you. Yeah, back in the mid '90s, there was a thing like MTV and stuff like that put out like sort of a joke report. I think it was supposed to be a joke. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon was supposed to sync up with the Wizard of Oz movie, and I was a skeptic. I paid no attention until like early 2000s when a friend of mine made me sit there and watch it. He had it synced up. I guess it's like after the third roar of the lion, you press play. And anyways, you got to be very specific. Obviously, if you're looking for synchronicities, you got to be very in sync. But if you press it to play at the right time, look it up. If you know, in fact, you're going to have pages and pages of people putting down different details of what's supposed to happen. You know, like at one point, you know, it looks like they're sort of moving along with the music, and yeah, that happens all the time. But when I would have to be watching it to show you. But there's like every couple seconds, there's something that syncs up with it. Like, all right, for instance, at the end of the Pink Floyd album, I think there's a heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
There's a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's right.
That might be the end of the first tape or the first side of it. Anyways, I think it's the end of the album itself. There's a heartbeat, and right at that moment, Dorothy's knocking on the Tin Man's heart, like knocking on his chest, listening for his heart, and you can hear the heartbeat. There's a part where after the okay, so you know the part of the Wizard of Oz where the tornadoes picking up really bad, the trees start flying, and she's just looking for shelter. Right at the point where like trees are flying around and stuff like that, that's when, you know, I forget the name of I think it's called Gig in the Sky or Big Gig in the Sky or something. Great Gig in the Sky, where there's a woman just wailing. She's just that's like basically scream singing. And
Well, I'm from the Mandela effect world that there wasn't any tornadoes. Well, if you're talking about before but like they had a scene where the Tin Man got picked up by a tornado. Like that didn't happen.
No, he got picked up by something and got dropped. He got dropped
Or
back
is the
down.
monkey?
That's right in the scene with the famous gun. He's
Yeah,
got
the famous gun.
the
Yeah,
flying monkey when
Yeah.
they're in that forest. Wonderful
Yeah.
gun. But
No,
what?
but like the Beatles, if you play Strawberry Fields Forever backwards, I guess it says that Paul McCartney is dead, and like the
no, it says
whole
I bury. No. It goes I bury Paul. Well, no, that's straightforward at the end. You listen to it.
No, but I mean they're saying that the real Paul McCartney had died, and they replaced him with somebody else.
Yeah, they have a whole documentary about that. I watched it for fun. People like make fun of me for even like entertaining the thought, but people put a lot of thought and details into, because they say that the Beatles purposely put these little clues in their albums. You know, he's facing the wrong way in this picture, and he's the only one not wearing shoes in the Abbey Walk. And yeah, there's a whole. I guess there's a college course.
Yeah,
about, like,
I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that it. There's.
they purposely put that in there. I think what you're saying is it's
Yeah.
in the song. Absolutely, it's on purpose. It's not like the sounds accidentally make those noise.
But Zenith, like, I mean, if you listen to those music back then, like in our last talk last night, I was saying about the end and the Doors. Do you listen to the Doors?
I haven't in a while, but I spent a lot of time listening to the Doors. Yeah, the end was a really good trippy song.
Okay, the end. Okay, at the end of the end, do you remember him saying the F word that many times?
Well, I don't know. There's like live versions, and I probably watched.
No, I'm talking album version, not live there.
Yeah, that's why I can't attest, because I've listened to live versions. I watched the movie The Doors like a dozen times.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I said last night. Like, if I watch the movie and watch like live, I got live albums too. But I got the vinyl. Like believe me, I got books on Jim Morrison. Like I got his poetry writing. I was a big fan, and never did at the end. It was like a rated G version of the song, and now he just says F F F F F all the way through the end of the song, and that wasn't. He never said that. Like he wanted to, probably. Like
You know what comes to my mind though is it possible that they had like sort of a I don't know how it works in Canada, but I know like in certain stores like Kmart, for instance, not Kmart, Walmart here was known for editing certain albums. Like they would not sell an album if they would edit something out. I mean, they might actually have to say somewhere on it, this is the edited version. But is it possible you got a vinyl that was just edited?
No, because this is how bad a fan I am. I got versions from the States. I ordered one from Japan. I ordered like I got cassettes. I got like
Were they the same
CDs.
recording, or do you think they like some of them might have differed?
No, they were all the same then, but he's all saying the same thing on everything I got now.
Also, the swears are much more excessive now.
Yeah, like they weren't there before, and they're everywhere now. Just like the movie was.
Hey, that could be an effect. Another thing that comes to my mind, though, just because I like to play devil's advocate, I want to just try to rule everything out before I sort of make a claim. I also would maybe think that, when we were kids, I don't know how young you were when you started to listen to it, but maybe you didn't. So, for instance, if you're a kid, you might not even know what the word means, so you might never thought it. But if, let's say, you're a teenager, okay, and maybe you want to swear up a storm, but now that you're an adult, you like watch your language more. It's something. I don't know where I'm going with that, but time's gone by, and probably not. We're talking about the Mandela effect. I mean, things, things are changing, so absolutely could be right. I can't attest to it's true or not, though.
Not that it's a big deal. It's like Red Hot Chili Peppers, like underneath the bridge. You know what I mean? Like that changed. You know,
Change about that one.
it was the oh, what does it say? It changed now. It's not City of Angels. It's the City of Angel.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw that on, I think it's Scarab's channel.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like,
but it still says EL, but
there's no S. There's no S like in Angels.
Yeah, well, since that song has been played so much.
Oh, I'm thinking of Los Angeles, and they changed that too.
Well, I could probably briefly share that with you guys. I was just looking at something Teresa sent me about Chrysler. Check out Chrysler, guys. Look at the R.
Wow. Looks like it's been transformed.
Hang on.
Let's see
I'm gonna
that.
show you.
Yeah, screenshot it.
Hold on.
It's my
Hi,
boss's
Teresa.
car.
Okay, look. See. Okay, the years from 62 to 93.
Right.
And look from 95 to 98. Look at the R's. See how they're tampered with?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
1990.
Transformers.
We're seeing some transformers on these.
Yeah.
So Chrysler, apparently, they're into satanic stuff too.
That's crazy.
Yes, I believe these companies they're using these. There's got to be a pattern with these R's. Got to be.
Let's look at the I know I'm like repetitive, but the lowercase t, I think the pattern like that is they just want to eliminate the sign of the cross.
Cross.
That's why
They're hooking it.
and they put that through everything. I call it like a spectrum chain, because that the root letter of these lowercase t was always like a cross, but that's been fundamentally changed throughout everything that has a T. So that's one clue. The next clue that you know is the enemy is because the King James Bible, which everybody referred to as being the most accurate, is the most hammered by the effects now.
Isn't that?
Yeah.
Everybody's
Hey guys.
looking at this.
Hey guys. My mom just said, hey Tom. She's just saying hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, hi.
Hey, babe, how y'all doing?
We're having a great Mandela effectian time.
Awesome. Yeah, Brian's got some more stuff, I heard.
Oh, he's always got stuff.
It's like they just the spirit leads me wherever it leads me is where I follow.
I think Batman had his back at the door.
Hey, but get back to what I said. Like number 2 is the King James Bible getting hammered all over the place, and then another tool is like causing confusion as far as mixing all these letters together and all that. It's just you could see the spirit behind it all.
Can I add something here? You were talking about T cross. I'm glad you talked about that. We're talking about the R's, and he said there's something about the R's. What makes, from my background, like you weren't here at the beginning, I look at like Gematria, could be pronounced Gematria, something like that. That's where like you put the number values underneath the letters. Like A is the first letter, so that's 1. B is the second letter. R is the 18th letter, and you say 6 plus 6 plus 6. I know it's a stretch, but we're finding 6s in these logos, and if we're already talking about spirits, without me mentioning the Gematria, R is the 18th letter, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6.
That'll work. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like 6s are getting rooted and everything. But even with the old barcode system, that was like it started with a 6, then in the middle is a 6, and the end's a 6, and they stopped. That's just a. It seems like technology, and the enemy wants to always use it. Cause confusion.
Yeah. I'm not much on math, but I've seen videos how all the numbers are connecting to the 6s all the time.
Teresa just sent me something else. So let me jump over here and check what she just sent me.
Okay.
There's a show called The Americans. You remember how it used to be spelled ANERIKANS? Remember The Americans that had a K? Because it was about KGB agents in America.
I never watched it, but I remember the. I don't remember a K though, but
yeah, about the KGB.
Yeah.
Now it's spelled Americans with a C. It's supposed to be with a K. Because it's conflicting, it's the KGB, KGB.
Yeah, it could be. Like I just remember they had the little the crop hook over the top of it. I don't remember the K though.
Well, now it's called ANERICANS. But it was spelled ANERIKANS 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it could be. I never watched the show, so.
Do you guys remember The Americans spelled differently?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Americans.
Not
Yeah,
me.
that was a KGB show.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't remember the K, but I remember they had the iron Russian hook, like the sickle and stuff over top of it. But
Holy crap!
I sent it to you.
She could be very right about that one.
Yeah, it's spelled wrong now. And I bet you I can find residue for it too.
I really wish now I would have watched it. What is everyone else saying in the chat? Can you guys?
Let's find out. You guys remember the KGB show spelled ANERIKANS? Or do you remember the way it's spelled now? ANERICANS. What do you guys think?
well, I'll check my Netflix here. It probably changed.
What do y'all
But
think?
I think it's on Netflix. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna check.
Yeah, I don't remember The Americans.
Oh, I got everybody's saying a K. I got people with a K.
What's that?
Wow, wow! You guys remember the K?
That's the new Mandela.
What the crap?
Yeah.
We got a new one.
Americans.
We have a winner.
We have a winner. And I will get you some residue. How's that?
That'll work. I'm giving this one
Okay,
to you,
we'll
Teresa.
take it.
That's all yours.
Teresa, you got another great find.
Man, we are finding I know like what is it? Dr. Lupo, he said that it doesn't matter whether you find one Mandela effect or 1,000. Our world is not the same, pretty much is what he said. And it's true. It's true. But it is like a treasure hunt. You guys feel like that? Sometimes it's like a treasure trove of information.
Oh, wow. That's exactly right. That's what makes it so exciting. You never know what's under any kind of rock you turn over, you know?
Absolutely.
Why is everything so changing? It's just like getting crazy. Ugh.
What's that?
It's like everything we know is just disappearing.
Yeah, well,
So the Bible does say stay sober and stay sober-minded. And I haven't honestly had anything to drink as far as alcohol goes. I have been going strong since January.
Let's see what I can find.
And the only time what?
Everybody's saying K for that show.
Really?
Americans,
Oh my gosh.
But yet on the computer it's showing a C.
Yeah, Chip, you are really awake.
That's a good find for sure.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing good on pretty much. It's all brainwashing material. It's all stuff to program your mind.
It's all programming.
And
That's what you're saying. Regularly scheduled programming.
that's right.
Well, like for myself, I mean, the changes to the words and stuff are astonishing enough, but I just find I'm a very nature-based person, and I just find with the chemtrails and the clouds and the around here the trees are the leaves are turning black and stuff like that. It's just that really irks me, and it saddens me. And I used to have mourning doves here all the time eating, and they're not around anymore, and it might be because the shifting of the earth or something, or the dimension. I don't know, but it just makes me sad.
Hey, Brian, I just found Residue.
Residue on the Americans with a K?
Yep. This guy, Micaiah Squires, says the American show, Amerikans, show looks kind of cool. The storyline shocker will be that the Russian spies are actually less socialist than the American families they are trying to blend into, and it's spelled like that. And one that's in Spanish, but it's spelled Amerikan.
Golly. I wish I would have paid attention to this one. That's it's so weird. American.
Yeah, I was actually gonna watch that show, and I never got around to it. But, yeah, that's a good find.
Well, here's the thing, guys, and you may want to screenshot this so you can have something to share. But look, I don't know if you can see that. Look at this. It's right there on IMDb also.
Yep.
Look at that. The Americans with a K.
Yep. With the K.
Yeah.
Who's he? Is it Felix Caban, Haley Caban, and Ebony Carmichael? Does that sound right?
Yep. And now it's the C now, if you look at it now.
That is just so weird. I'm screenshotting that.
Crazy, huh?
I know.
We had another shift, I think, yesterday.
I think so too. I'm really believing it.
We're having a shift almost every other day.
The Mayans were trying to tell us something, and 2012 could have been the end of that era. Now we're in a new era.
Well, I was looking into that myself, and I was wondering the same thing, that maybe what they were prophesizing wasn't the end of the world in 2012, but what's happening now. But now I'm seeing some videos of people saying that the Mandela effect happened before that. So I really, it's other people's opinions, so I don't know what to think of that.
Seeker.
Yeah.
Just reminded me. Okay, so does anybody remember the candy Now or Later, or Now and Later?
Yeah, Now and Later, yeah.
Well,
I didn't have that one. No.
Back in the 80s, I ate those, and that was called Now or Later. And anymore. And the thing is I think people are just reporting these changes now. I ate those for some years, and then I remember seeing that it was Now and Later. We're still going back 20 or so years that I noticed.
Yeah.
So, and it's a change. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree that you remember Now or Later's.
I remember the ampersand. I'm with Data Junkie on that one.
What did you remember?
The ampersand with the that and symbol.
Oh, but you do not remember Now or Later's?
But you know what? Part of my mind wants to say Now or Later also. You know what I'm saying? It could be a dual memory.
Well, what my question for you guys is here is and maybe even in the chat, I can't read the chat right now, but you know, if someone can, I need an answer to this one. Is it possible that you, let's just say, Mandela, if there's a change, okay, like we're talking about the Americans changing just tonight, maybe tonight's the change. What if we talk to someone else with Mandela effect, says, oh no, that changed for me like a month ago? Is that possible that, like, let's just say with
yeah, well,
supernatural
they might
thing.
be awake. They might just awoke. Like for me, like it was a year ago. So maybe, like to some of you, it was 2 years ago, and maybe to somebody else, it might be just like tomorrow or today or yesterday.
But so, do you think that, let's say, for instance, the show Americans spelt the way that we remember? Well, I don't remember the show, but you know, you get the point. Spelling it one way with the K, and maybe it's
Yeah.
been that way long, and then she just noticed it with a C. Is it? Anyways, it
No, with
switched.
the K. Yeah.
So okay, so now if you watch it, it's spelled a C. Is that if I understand it correctly? It's spelled with a C
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, let's just say you tried to watch it last night and it had a C in it.
Yeah.
But are you? So we're trying to say that someone else could have seen the C a month ago, but it's still appearing as a K up until just now for Teresa or something. Does that make sense?
Personally, I think the effects are like I don't know. You see them and they like actually see all the changes, like to whatever reality. I guess if we go into dimensions and stuff like that, if we want to go that far, like what dimension are you from? Like the people that are here right now, like maybe in chat, are from here. So like Interview with a Vampire, they never heard of it. It's been Interview with the Vampire, right? So it's always been that way for them. So like, I mean, you can't tell somebody or try to fight with them that no, that's, you know, that's the way it was. So I don't know, like it's so a clusterfuck, I guess is the best word for it. But I mean, we're spinning around, and we're just like trying to figure out stuff. But I just find that a lot of us, like I'm in a group in Facebook, and I just find that a lot of us all have remember the same things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, so back to my original question. Maybe I worded it differently. Okay, so like I was saying in the beginning, I started noticing changing somewhere around 2015, maybe even 2016 more so. But I didn't notice all these kind of changes before. But the now or later candy, when I was a child, it was now or later. And I just noticed, you know, not just noticed, I noticed it like, I don't know, a good 20 years ago. I was like, hey, wasn't this called now or later's? And so I noticed that change, but there wasn't an avalanche of other changes. See, we're having an avalanche the past few years. But is it possible that for one person to notice this one change and then not be fully sort of affected until all of a sudden, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'll drop it. I don't even know what kind of what I'm saying here.
No. I think
change and then I can't.
no, I know what you're saying. Like part of me, like, because there's this place on Long Island. It's called Cheap John's, and I can remember going there, and you could buy packages now and later for $1. And I'm kind of wondering back then if they were now or later, you know. But you know, it's possible they could have changed it. But what you're saying, it's always been like that? Is it like a Mandela?
No, what I'm saying is for me as a child, it was now or later, and then I noticed, you know, years later that it was now and later. It was a mistake that me and my siblings used to call it the wrong thing. But then I came across this thing about Mandela effects, and sort of recently I just saw a video, someone do a video about now and later's, and it used to be now or later's. I'm like, absolutely, but for some reason I remember that I noticed that like a kind of a long time ago. So it's weird that one person would just sort of wake up to it now. You know what I mean? Like, I heard some of you talk about the change. I think it was Rena talked about it, and maybe someone else, that literally the change happened right in front of their eyes. And
It happens all the time around here.
so it happens to y'all right when you're watching it. It's possible that someone else, like say you're looking at the K in Americans, change to C right in front of your eyes. Is it possible that I can sit there and watch Netflix or whatever and watch Americans with a K for another week or so before I particularly notice it change right in front of my eyes? Or do you think it's instantaneous? With like everybody would just see it as a K.
Well, me personally, I've never actually seen it happen right before my eyes. But I mean, to me, when I got onto the Mandela effect, it was like dominoes. It was like everything, once I learned about, because I liked Anne Rice and her book, it was like I knew that changed, and then all of a sudden I was looking up the Mandela effect, and all the dominoes just kept going down. And then I learned about Star Wars, like, because I haven't watched in a while, and then all of a sudden I watch it, and I'm like, yeah, he says, Luke, I'm your father, and not, no, I'm your father, because I mean, when I was a kid, I remember yelling in the fan, Luke, I'm your father, but it wasn't something that was on my mind at the time. But
Right.
it's, you start backtracking through your history, like, it's like we're saying, we don't know what the Mandela effect, if they're screwing up with, like, is it time travel or CERN or whatever's going on. But I mean, whatever's happening, like, it's not just one thing. It's a whole bunch of things that all connect, like, eventually, and that all of us are seeing the same thing, which is weird. Like, we're all connected too.
Yes, and I started thinking about all these connected letters. Maybe they're not trying to form a specific pattern, but maybe they're trying to say, okay, our minds are connecting more.
Oh.
What if all of the text, all of the letters in a certain word start connecting, like the MCA logo? I think Teresa pointed out. Let me share that with you guys. All the letters are connected now. Wait, hold on. Let me. I'm in the Facebook chat. Okay, let me come back over here real quick.
There's a duality in that too. Because if you're looking at the symbolism, you might say, okay, well, we're all connected. We're all one. A good, nice hippy-dippy John Lennon, all is one. And that's awesome. But if you're looking at, say, from a biblical standpoint, someone might interpret that as sort of Tower of Babel, they all wanted to unite and be like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems to me that for the most part, that's an awesome, positive thing. And I've been thinking that same thing. We are all one. We're all connected. Just like the birds, they can communicate. You don't even need to say words. I don't think they need to chirp a certain way. They just know as a hive or whatever.
Well, like I said, Zenith, a while ago, I said I used to have mourning doves, and I still have a couple that come by. But I mean, like, I leave birdseed out, and they fly down, and then there's pigeons fly down, and blackbirds fly down, and chipmunks are there, and they're all not scared of each other. It's like they're all connected, right? Like, in a certain way, they're not scared. But the second I even open the door, they're all flying away.
Humans, oh my goodness. I don't want to talk trash about my own kind here, but yeah, this is something about.
Wow. Are you guys seeing this? Are you guys seeing this?
I'm gonna click over, Brian, and I'll check it out. Yeah.
Okay, this is I'm not sure if you guys can read this or not, but it's talking about connected and disconnected letters. And this is if you ever study like it's graphology, the study of handwriting and stuff like that. I used to study that. And when you look at connected writing, it's seen when letters of a word are connected. We can use the analogy of a stream, how it passes with its twists and turns from one place to from one piece of scenery to the next. Keeping in touch with it passes through. The connection in writing shows how a person connects or relates from one person to the next. Do you see that?
Yeah, no, I studied it in school. Like, you can actually can tell what because I had studied criminology. Like, if somebody uses a loop in a certain letter, you can actually study what type of person that is, because just on that single loop of their name.
Or the slant. How heavy they slant? If they slant real far to the right, they're like aggressive, and real passive,
Yes.
like left hand slant or something. Yeah.
I've seen that. There's something about the disconnected, the left side of the T missing. I read that somewhere else. I'm trying to find it for you guys. Joel Engel. I'm trying to get him on my show. He has been into researching graphology for 30 years. So I'm trying to get him on our show. He's from Israel.
So what are your thoughts on it, Brian? Then, so obviously, it can be interpreted as it's we're all connected, and this is how we relate, and it's apparently with ease, seamless. Do you see that as a really positive thing?
Yeah, I see.
Well, with God,
I see it as a positive thing. There's that would explain all the synchronicities. The coming together of our minds and everything. You know what I mean?
Sure.
well,
there's a lot
Brian, I don't know what Brian has to say, but like Zenith, like, I went to Bible school as a kid. I was real religious, and then I got away from it. Like, I was not bad, but I mean, I was a tool there. I drank a lot and I did a bunch of stuff. But now, since the Mandela effect, like, I haven't drank and I haven't done anything bad, and I just find I'm more spiritual. Like, that's the best word I could say. Like, I talk to God every night now, like, and it's not anything I used to do, and and I guess that's where I try to put the connection to other people, especially in like these chats or with my group on Facebook. It's just we're all in the same thing that what we're going through, but it's more than ourselves. Like, it's a big thing, like, and we just gotta have, like, I don't think we'll ever find answers of why things change, but we're gonna, when God's there, we're gonna be with him. That, I guess, is the end note of that. So.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, same here. I'm looking at this tour bus. There's a picture of a tour bus that Teresa has sent me, and Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn. You guys remember that mystery? Like, some weeks ago, people were talking about how they never actually sang together or anything.
I heard about it. I don't know the whole story, but yeah.
Let me share that with you guys. You guys are more than welcome to screenshot this stuff too. If you're out there in the audience, oh, look at that, we have the MCA down there. Look at that, MCA records. Teresa pointed out that the C and the A are connected, right? Patsy Cline, Loretta Lynn, they've been on tour. I mean, is this in fact Residue? Did they really sing together? Because they went on tour, but yet they themselves. I've heard this big talk going on. That's the same photo. Okay, look at this one. There's them actually there.
Yeah, I'm not a big country fella, so I wouldn't really, I can't comment on if they actually played together, but like the MCA looks really weird. Like, I don't think it was that way back in the 60s or the 50s or whenever that was going on.
Loretta Lynn and Patsy Cline. But yeah, it's important to look at these logos because there's hidden meaning behind them. I don't know, like, I'm looking at it, is that PBS? That's PBS right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to see the hidden meanings. And I suggest everyone do that. Look into hidden meanings of logos. Yeah, because we could all be like Robert Langdon's. Huh?
What's the logo beer, Paul? My shoes, Bear Paw.
What is it?
They make boots.
Boots? Did you say boots?
Shoes.
Shoes.
Bear Paw.
I can't say I've heard of them.
All right.
But is there something going on there with the Mandelas?
The eggs look really like pyramid.
Here's okay. You can share it with me. I'll share it with everyone else. Look at the here's Big Lots residue that Rena sent me. Now she remembers this. This proves right here that handwriting sometimes cannot change. She drew this when she was at Big Lots, and she remembers the exclamation point being separated from the G. But now, if you look at the logo, the exclamation point is covering up part of the G. And not only that, you're seeing the big with an exclamation point right there, and then lots right beside it.
Wow.
I put it up earlier in our live chat. Yeah, the Big Lots is messed up now.
Yeah, we don't have big lots up here, but I mean, looking at the picture, I mean, obviously she drew that at the time, and it's like you're saying, if it's up way up by the G, then definitely change.
Do you guys know Five Below, the store Five Below?
No.
My mom was telling me there's a new Mandela effect with Walk the Dinosaur. I did a video about that. I think she's a little behind there. It's okay. I love you, Mom.
What's the change? I didn't hear about that one.
Okay, the Walk the Dinosaur song.
From the 80s?
Like halfway through the song, they say, everybody walk the dinosaur. They're doing the dinosaur dance. And then the other half of the song, they're saying, everybody kill the dinosaur.
Everybody what?
They say, everybody kill the dinosaur.
Wow.
Like,
No, it was always walk the dinosaur. It wasn't kill the dinosaur. That's crazy.
That is crazy. You took the word. I never heard kill. And I would have been like, that's weird.
yeah, see, my mom was one of those people at first. She would be like, oh, come on, don't talk about the Mandela. I don't want to hear about the Mandela anymore. You know, now she's like all getting involved since my channel blew up. You know, and, honestly, it's truly a blessing. Like, honestly, connecting with other people. I love doing Mandela effect videos. I was very shy at first. I'm still kind of shy. You know, like, I didn't even think I'd be able to get on here and say or do anything interesting, but it's like, you know, we blend, you know?
No, Brian. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, man. No, I was just going to say, on in your own channel, you're going to have like-minded people. You have to be careful, though. Like, let's say, I don't know where you work, but say at work, or if you work, I don't think you can just start, you know, let's say you work at a place where you have customer service. You can't just start talking to customers left and right. You might be.
That's the, yeah, obviously you can't do that. Calls are being recorded and stuff like that. But you could talk on your 10-minute break with coworkers or whatever, you know, like, you know, obviously if a customer brings up the Mandela effect, it's like I worked in customer service, you know, and I know how it is. For all of you out there who are doing customer service, God bless you all, because I dealt with some of the nastiest customers too.
I've done it in the past too, so I
always, when in doubt, give them free HBO for a month. That'll make them happy.
well, when before I graduated, I worked at McDonald's, so I used to give them free Big Mac or something like that there. But
oh yeah, you definitely would have made my day with that, buddy. Wait, was it a Big Mick or Big Mac? Which one was it? A Big Mick?
No, Big Mac. Big Mac.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
And it's McDonald's, not McDonald's.
I know. Well, what do they call McDonald's in Scotland then? Do they call it McDonald's or McDonald's over there?
I don't know, because when I watched Pulp Fiction, they said, you know, from France, like a quarter pounder is a Royale with cheese. So, you know, and a Big Mac's Le Big Mac. So, I mean, I don't know what they're doing over there.
Bring one up that's an actual Mandela effect, but I would just want to, maybe even people in the chat, 'cause I can't read the chat, but just think about this for a second. If I was to ask you how to draw the dollar sign, right? I'll start you off. It's the letter S. Okay, now what would you suppose? Let me ask Seeker. How do you draw the dollar sign?
I can't because mine's got a loony on it.
Are you talking about? Are you talking about with the S with a single slash or a double?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. I'm seeing that when we were still around the same age as you, well, from what my experience, everybody tells me that it's an S with 2 lines. And I know you can find the S with 2 lines.
You're breaking up, Zenith. Zenith, you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we don't want any interference. Okay, I can hear you better now. You there?
Let me turn my fan off. Maybe it's that. Okay, so what I was saying.
Really, because I could have sworn that was a helicopter. No, I'm kidding.
Well, what I was saying was the dollar sign. They taught us that it was an S with 2 lines, and even now, everybody I've asked has said an S with 2 lines. And then I said, go ahead and look at your receipts. Look at the menus. Look at lottery tickets.
Oh my God.
Look at any little price tag at the stores. They're going to have 1 line through it, which is fine because you can still find the 2 lines. You know, you'll pick up a rap album and he'll be wearing a dollar sign around his neck or something with 2 lines. But now it's very rare. Like seriously, if you go to the store, it's going to have 1 line through that S. I know that there's a difference. That's technically not a Mandela effect, but I wonder if they've slowly phasing out. I mean, you can't even text. You can't even text the dollar sign like that. I think there's a money bag that might have the 2 lines, but you can't just find the 2 lines in any text anymore that I've seen.
So maybe that's that whole singularity thing. You know, maybe they're do you think they're making? Do you think they could be possibly making things easier for people by only doing the 1 line?
You mean laziness or something like that, or just quick?
Huh?
What do you mean making it easier? Like they're just kind of lazy, let's do 1 line. They know what it means.
Yeah. Because that's what the connection of the T's means, honestly. Like when I know when I'm handwriting, and you know, especially with the Bible and stuff, and if I like say the word committed, committed has 2 T's.
Okay.
So you would draw the 11, right? Like for the stems, and then you would draw the 1 bar going across to make it easier.
Okay. Well, maybe, but what I was thinking of is again, maybe people think about it.
Teresa?
I'm just trying to price tag with the single through the dollar sign, just thinking now.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're all singular now, is what he's saying. They're all single, but he and I remember double lines through the S, right?
Take a poll to people that don't know you're talking about Mandela effect. Just ask them.
Let's see, double S, double bar S,
I can find
or
it.
single.
The symbol does exist. This is not a Mandela effect, but what I'm getting at is I think they're slowly phasing it out. And what happens, let's say 50 years from now? Are they going to view as you as a grandfather going to go, I remember they used to have a double line, and then you're not going to be able to find that double line anywhere, and people are going to think, must be an effect or something. You know what I mean?
And what does that mean? What does that mean with the keyboards? Like, does that mean, you know, is it possible the old keyboards? I may try to find that real quick, see if some of the old keyboards had it, because if they do, it might not be a Mandela.
I don't.
It's
I'm
just
saying slowly, like physically, they're changing them. You can still find the 2 lines. I assure you. You go to the lottery, you're gonna find a couple of tickets that have 2 lines. I said you can find some rap albums that have like the 2 lines to be fancy. At this point, it's so rare, and it's just like to be fancy. It's the extra line at this point. Whereas we were kind of instilled as to write 2 lines instead of 1. Now they're almost like phasing it out. It's become standard.
What do they use in Canada? Is it pounds or Canadian dollars? They use Canadian dollars, right?
Well, look, we got a moose on our quarter.
Yeah, I've seen those. I have some moose quarters.
I was looking for $1 or $2, but they're both coins now. They used to be paper bills. We had the Queen on it, and now we call them loonies and toonies, which makes Canada even more funnier than what we are. We're Looney Toonies.
I found one.
And in this cartoony, we're invading your TV. Right?
I had an
That's,
I had an old dollar bill, but I can't find it.
Tiny Toon or Tiny Toons Adventures, whichever one it was, because it's both. I mean, apparently.
No, it was Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes Adventures for you?
It was, well, I know it was Looney Tunes. They did make I think they did make a different show with the Tiny Toons, with the younger people or whatever, the younger characters or whatever that I remember, but it wasn't like Looney was spelled like, or no, it was the Tunes. It was T-U.
The tunes are tune.
T-O-O-N-S or N-N-S, not like T-U-E-S or T. God, I can't even spell. T-U-N-E-S. It wasn't as in music, tunes. It was tunes.
Like cartoons.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the Tiny Toons, the small characters there,
Yeah.
it's called Tiny Toon and not Tiny Toons, which blew me away. I thought it was supposed to be Tiny Toons until recently.
Yeah. I think that changed too.
But Brian, you mentioned about singularity versus like plurals and stuff like that, and someone was on about that a while ago too. In other videos, that's another symbol. It's like, again, with the connecting letters, and instead of taking the S out, it's making many into one. Like I did a video about monopoly and how the word monopoly, like mono means one, right? Poly.
Yeah.
So monopoly, and in the video I mentioned about, on the back of the dollar bill, it says "e pluribus unum," which loosely translates to one out of many. So you got monopoly, and then you have the monopoly character that is changed.
Yes, monocle.
Monocle. And it's all about money, and the money, to me, it's not a Mandela effect officially, but they're slowly making it into one line instead of two. In towers, which we should still talk about, I think, is now it's one. Is it the one building or one World Trade Center? It's called.
Well, yes, like you said, the two becoming one, and now there's only one. We're seeing a pattern here, and I don't know. I thought about that Mario Brothers movie earlier, like when I was doing that video, and they were all reptilians.
Well, yeah.
And the dinosaur song, and recently we've discovered that dinosaurs are not 65 million years old now. There's been a discovery by I think it was like the University of Georgia or somewhere in Georgia. They've discovered that they found real flesh on dinosaur bones. So it's very recent. Dinosaurs are not as old as they tell you. And
yeah, I heard the same.
I think they're trying to tell us something. Everybody walk the dinosaur. Now it's everybody kill the dinosaur. Dinosaurs actually, the word dragon is in the Bible, right? Dragons were never in the Bible.
Well, it is now.
But back in the day, they used to call dragons dinosaurs. Am I right? Like,
probably that makes sense.
I can't remember in the Bible. Like, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I don't remember there being dragon in the Bible. Like, now we got couch and we got captains and patrols and policemen and I don't know. God, there's so many.
Well, unicorns in the Bible.
Unicorns, yes.
Unicorns are actually in the Bible. What they actually mean, and I looked this up. It's a wild ox. Because you have a regular ox, and then you have this wild wild ox, and the wild ox being called unicorn. And unicorn literally means, doesn't it mean one horn? Like,
Well, there's this similarity with the one.
mm-hmm.
No, but I like I said, I talked to a pastor and a minister about it, and they wouldn't agree to that the words changed, but they said, basically in quotations, we're trying to make the Bible more understandable to interpretate for the like the newer people coming up. But I said to him, I'm like, well, I have a 60-year-old Bible. Why does it have unicorn in it? You know what I mean? And he couldn't answer me. Like I said, it's not like I just bought it and then you're trying your new age words on me. Like, you know what I mean? For the kids, you know, to understand. Like, how does it, did somebody come into my house and change the words on me while I was sleeping or what? That's what I told him, and then shut the door in my face. So,
wow, really? He should be there
yeah.
trying to help you figure it out. Because you know what I think he was trying to say was, because I know that when I decided I was gonna officially, you know, read every single word. I wanted to read the Bible cover to cover. I mean, I grew up Catholic, and I went away from it. I said, I don't want this. But I decided, you know what, this country, you know, the president puts his hand on the Bible. If you go to court, you have to put your hand on the Bible. That God is on the money. I mean, it says, "In God we trust." So I'm saying, you know, people talk about the Bible like they know what's in it, and I wanted to at least I know what's in it, at least a little bit. And maybe what he's trying to say is there's newer translations. There's so many translations, and they make it so much easier. That's what I thought this penny change came in when I heard about you're going to work a day's pay for a penny. I thought it was a denarius, and then when I read penny, I thought, well, maybe that's just a sort of a newer way to, you know, kids, you know, these days are going to understand he's working for this small amount. But if you read denarius, you might think of Game of Thrones or something. You know what I mean?
Yes.
No, but my point is that, like, I got a Bible and the copyright or the date written on it is like, you know, 1957. So I can understand a Bible in 2015 or 16 saying, you know, they got the modern words in it and stuff, and it's up to date to the new age people. But how can a Bible in 1957, which has been in my house all these years, how could the letters change?
Yeah, how could it be talking about couches and unicorns at this point? Yeah, I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's impossible.
When I read it, I wish I had stuck to one version. Like I had several lying around, and I was trying to study. I was stopping after I read a chapter. I said, I don't fully understand that. Let me read a different version. So, like, I'm going to be a little bit. I don't think I can agree or disagree with certain changes because I read different versions at the same time. But everybody's, a lot of people are saying that these words are changing. And it doesn't seem to make sense. You know.
No, but if you read the words that are in the Bible, they don't make sense. Like, they got stuff like policemen.
Yeah.
Like, there was no policeman back when Jesus was walking around there in, you know, Jerusalem or whatever. Like, that word wasn't even made back then. You know what I mean? I know they wrote the Bible after Jesus, but still, there was no policeman. You know what I mean?
You could find out if we're talking about the King James, and I think the 1611 version was supposed to be like is that the official? Maybe Brian knows about this one too. There was one official version that people are saying kind of is the one to supposedly the more accurate or something, English translation. I don't know if policemen and pennies were around in 1611.
Yeah, because it says the words are actually officers now. If you look at King James, it says officers. I think it would have been like guardsmen or something like that. Don't you think?
Yeah, well, even like castles and stuff like that, they have in there now. Like how would there wasn't castles back then?
Yeah, and we have husbandmen or something like that. Which actually I think it meant caretakers of the farm, like
I
farmers.
I don't even want to go into the sexual words that
Oh,
I've learned about.
Well, there's two men in a bed now, and then
Yeah.
there's also right after that there's two women grinding. And and if you look at Luke, I forget where it's at. It's like around Luke 18 or 19 maybe. Talks about two women grinding at the mill. And I know like we have terminology that like back in the day. I mean also there's if you look at James, I think it's like James 2:8 or something like that. I got to look, but it talks about a man dressed in gay clothing, fashioned with a ring or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and back then, gay meant something totally different than it does now. I think it wasn't until like the 80s or so, or maybe it was the 60s when they introduced that word. So now the word gay has like a really bad meaning.
No, well, I had noticed like I just like was clicking on your profile, Brian, like today there just to see what time the hangout was at, and I'd seen you had a video on Extol. What do you think about her page?
What you mean by extol Yeshua?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I love what she does. She investigates the Bible. She was actually the catalyst for me that made me want to handwrite the King James. I copied it word for word. I started with the fewer books, like the ones with the fewest chapters, like Philemon. I started there. Then I jumped over to Matthew. That was really important to do. But then I realized there's 28 chapters in Matthew, so I figured I'd knock more out by getting the ones done with lesser chapters. So that's what I did. I took it all piece by piece, and I'm so far in John chapter 8.
no, but I mean, like, you know all about the Wendy Mitchell thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're all praying for her.
I mean, yeah, like I just want to divulge some here. Tom kind of made a comment about it last night, and like she was the one really like my savior. Like when I got into the Mandela effect, she brought me on to her group,
Really?
and what happened was like me and a few others, we made our own group because just like for like a backup kind of thing, like we were chatting about different stuff because like we weren't like so much involved in church like they were, so we didn't want to talk about stuff they weren't really interested in. And then there come up something about I don't know, I said something about Wendy saying something, and the next thing you know, like I was kicked out of Extolius's group, and like I love her to death. Like even today, like she's an awesome person, and like I don't blame her in any capacity. Like I thank her 1,000 times in prayers, like for letting like get me onto what is happening. But like it's just like I just kind of got thrown out into the wind, and that's what Tom kind of hinted at there yesterday. And but I mean, besides all that aside, like I mean, I've seen Wendy's videos, and it's just it wasn't right what she did. That's for sure. Like I think I made a comment where she actually made a nice video or something like that about Kat, and I get well, I got harangued for it. So then sometimes I get a little temper, and that's what happened with me, and I got booted. But Kat's awesome, and like I mean, if you had her on here, I talk to her like an old friend. Like she's an awesome, like, spiritual person,
Yes, I think she is too. I love Kat and her work. To be honest with you,
Yep.
she really woke me up and a lot of other people up. That's for sure. And I mean, praise God for people like her. I mean, she's taken a lot of heat. I mean, trust me. Like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the Mandela effect has been honestly like snowflakes touching down on the ground, and at first, you don't, it's people, but then after a while, like when the snowflakes start sticking to the ground, and then we have somebody that just joined.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Rena. Hey, you got away from the beast.
Oh yeah, I'm going to work.
Hi, Rena.
Howdy.
A beast. What is the beast work?
Hey, how's things going?
Good. The beast. My fiance, anytime he hears me talk about the Mandela effect, he just kind of turns into a monster.
Welcome to the club.
Well, we're praying for you, Rena.
Thank you. So dumb.
Time to get on your bike again, Rena.
I know, right? My only escape.
Do you sing that song in your head by who's it by? It's called "If I Could Escape." You know that song by who's it by? Help me out here, guys. Be creative. This is my whole world. You know that one?
No.
Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
Yeah, you remind me of her.
Oh boy.
If I could escape. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So what's new?
Nothing really. Just doing a lot of thinking, I guess. About...
I'm sorry. Did I scare you about Men in Black? Like.
No, but literally, I looked it up and I'm like, there's nothing changed about him. And he didn't have a mustache in any of the photos. And then all of a sudden I went and you're like, he has a mustache. And I was like, what? And it was like instantly changed. And I kind of sat there. I was like, what? I know it wasn't like that just like 20 seconds ago. I was actually pretty angry about that.
Do you mean as you heard him say that in the video, it changed for you?
Well, we were discussing it before he made the video. And he's like, can you help me find Residue? And I'm like, he's like, how do you remember him looking? And I thought, okay, he's got his black and white suit. He's got sunglasses. I'm like, there's not much else going on. And he's got his little doohickey thingamabobbers, And but then the mustache just appeared. I was like, I was actually pretty angry. I was like, it wasn't like that on the photos like just seconds ago. So this isn't the first time things just change before your eyes as soon as you start talking about it.
Yeah, no, in Men in Black, the first one anyway, he didn't have the mustache, but it was in Independence Day, he had the mustache.
That's weird.
That I remember anyway. I Men in Black, I know he didn't have one.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. I mean, I think he looks, I guess, better with a mustache in this reality, but it's still not the same.
No, it's still not the same. And I even talked to Melissa, like, I think shortly after we spoke, and she watched all 3 movies a bunch of times. She remembers him having a mustache in the second movie, she said, and in the third one, but not the first one. I found that kind of weird too.
Yeah.
And it might have been like a real light, but it wasn't that pronounced in his movie.
Yeah, it wasn't thick or anything. Yeah.
No,
Could have
that
been.
just looks.
Could have been, but.
But
who was in the movie with him? I forget. His partner. The old fella there.
I'm trying to remember. If you hadn't asked me, I probably could have told you.
He was in U.S. Marshals and The Fugitive and that there.
He was in The Fugitive also?
Yeah.
I think we should all watch Men in Black tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
And then we'd have a lot to talk about. I really need to watch this movie more. You know, it's funny because I was thinking about the little girl, how he shot the little girl when she was holding those books in her hand about quantum. I thought maybe it was quantum physics, and the other book was something like that. But yeah, quantum physics, and
Yeah,
he
that
shot
was
her.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah, before because he said because she's pretty dangerous.
Because she knows about the quantum effect.
That's right. That's right. I think were they hinting at something there? That's
Yeah, I think so. You're on the you got it, Brian.
You're following the trail, you bloodhound, you.
Yeah. Take a sip of tea, buddy. You got it.
I think we all took the red pill. I think House
Yeah.
of Wolves in our chat decided to take the blue pill. Actually, Salted gave him the blue pill, right? Salted. Thanks, I appreciate that. And when I was thinking of House of Wolves coming in here with the Lambs, I thought about Silence of the Lambs, and now how it's the Silence of the Lambs. That one's crazy.
See, and that's another one that's looking at the symbolism. We're talking about lambs. The lion.
Hello, Paris. So good to see you again.
Oh, Zenith is still here. Hi.
Hello there.
I'm glad you came.
Yeah. I'm glad that it was I saw the encouragement there. I've never done something like this. I mean, I used to call. I call into a show about the numbers of Gematria. I've never done like any one of these sort of calls like this. So,
Cool.
experience. I appreciate that. Thank you, and thanks, Brian, for letting me come on.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, Zenith. I hope you can join us on another episode.
Yeah, I would love that. Actually, I was going to bring something. I might have to go soon, but I was going to ask about this. So you put out a Back to the Future video. You might have put two, actually. I'm not sure. But in one of them, you mentioned the C and the K connected. And then you said also the two other letters, I guess, right?
Yeah, the C and the K and the R and the E. They weren't connected before.
The R and the E. Okay, so I don't know if you caught my message or if you were able to. I left you a link and a message about this. There was a guy that did a Gematria decode of the Back to the Future, and he pointed out. Does this ring a bell to you yet?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, well I'll just repeat. I put in a comment that a link to a video. This guy did a Gematria decode of Back to the Future, and he said he showed a close up of the poster. And he said, "Look at this. The only letters that connect are the C and the K." So I don't know if that's what Reno would call the human stain, but he had the picture, and then he connected the C and the K, but he didn't mention the R and the E. If you could, if you get a chance, I put a link in that video.
All right, I'll have to check that one out. Can you send me the link?
Yeah, I can't do it right now because I'm on my phone. But when I get off, I can I'll put a comment in this video. Yeah.
Well, I mean, send me a link to your channel, like email it to me, and I'll post it in the comments, and because
Okay.
it'll show up at the top. Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. That's for sure.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. I didn't know how this was going to turn out, but I'm glad you did it. It's too bad the other guys didn't stick around too long.
Well, Tom, I don't know if you know him, Digital Scribe. He's in and out on the show. He had to leave, step out to be somewhere with his wife, and I understand that. When you have family and everything with you. And I thank you for your time and being able to come on here tonight, man.
Yeah.
And
I was hoping there wasn't too many voices, and they were just like, "Nah, I'm out of here. You're talking about numbers again."
Too bad I missed you. I always get on
Take care,
super
Tom.
late.
Tom's awesome.
yeah. Oh, Tom. Yeah, Tom. He'll be back probably either later on or we'll have him on maybe Sunday or something.
Is he the one that made the video about you went to Cheddar's or something?
Yeah. We had like a big Mandela meetup. He was actually here close to town on business, so it actually worked out great.
That is so cool. When I just turned on YouTube and I just saw your video popped up right. It was like one of the top ones. I was like, "What? Cool!" Like I just watched the live chat with you last night, and then all of a sudden here you are. I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah, and it's funny. Like there's one of my other subscribers. Same neighborhood, I think, or around the same area. Was it you? Was it you, Teresa? Did you connect with somebody in the Mandela Effect through YouTube, and they live like practically in your neighborhood?
Actually, there's somebody, excuse me, that lives, works in the same building as me.
Really?
Wow.
And you knew them from YouTube or Facebook or something, and they were in the Mandela groups?
Facebook, yeah. He
Wow.
works on the first floor, and I work on the third floor.
So you guys should send me a video. I want everybody who connects with somebody on Mandela Effect, just shoot me a video, man, and I'll upload it, and I'll share it with everybody, man, if you don't mind. You know, that's awesome.
That's
that's
awesome,
the power
Brian.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's cool, Brian.
Yeah, guys.
Never know.
Do like
That's right.
a shout out video montage.
What's that?
Never know if they're going to live in the same state as you. Look how close you and Tom live. Not too far.
No, not too far at all. Tom's in Orlando, and I'm in South
That's where
Georgia.
I'm from.
What?
That's where I'm from. That's where I grew up at, in Orlando.
That's right. And it's interesting. You introduced me to Tom. See, I would have never known Tom if it hadn't been for you. So I thank you, Teresa.
Yeah. We grew up not too far apart. He was from one side of town, and I was from the other side, and we were kind of bringing back memories, talking one day about the things we remember about Orlando. I mean, he's still there, but I left in 2004 to move to Las Vegas, and my whole life was spent there. I've never lived anywhere else, and he was kind of bringing back memories, so I got a few tears out of my eyes. It's actually when my parents died, too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so bringing back memories of my childhood and my high school, and it felt great to be able to touch base with somebody that lives there, you know what I mean? Because I get very homesick living here in Vegas. I really do.
No,
Teresa,
that's awesome.
Teresa, I'm sorry. What is your birthday? What day of the month?
Me?
Yeah.
November 12th.
That's so weird. You see, that's a multiple of 3. My birthday is mine is the 3rd.
1963 at 3:30 p.m.
Wait, what year?
I was born 11/12/63.
Wait a second. That was like 10 days before Kennedy, wasn't it?
I have a stat about, and I was born at 3:30 p.m. And actually, 3 is my favorite number, and 13. And I wake up at 3:33 every morning, which even drives me crazy since I've had the Mandela. I wake up every morning at 3:33 or somewhere around there, like 3:30. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could talk about 3s all night with you on that one.
Yeah, and I love 3s, and they seem to follow me around.
Well, there's all these jokes about, we tell jokes a lot about the 3 people, whether it be, some stereotype person versus another and then another, but it's always the moral of the joke is the third one is like the champion or something like that, right? The wise one. So 3, I think, has to do with being really smart or wise.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Rena.
Oh yeah, and then you have you're looking at like the 3 versions of fate. Is it fate?
Holy
like
Trinity.
Of course, that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of 3 symbolisms. But the one that came to my mind was the 3 women there. One's like the young one, I guess, that sews. One's that cuts the strings, and there's 3s everywhere. Right? And I wonder what ties it all together. And maybe it is the Trinity. Maybe it's not.
No, but I mean, it's
sorry.
like Brian said there earlier about 444 too. Like, it just seems like seems symbolic numbers that are all like in sequence. Like you said, sequence. It's we're all seeing it repeating. Yeah.
You mentioned 4 actually, Brian. I just saw a video you did, and you mentioned something about the number 4 in the Roman numerals, right?
Yes, there's clocks now that have, instead of the Roman numeral 4, they have 4 ones.
So I
Yeah, I
saw.
saw
I was
that.
watching the, I was watching the Back to the Future commentary. It's actually where I learned that. I didn't know that was true. It's funny because I lived in my grandmother's house for many years, and she had this big grandfather clock in her kitchen, and it had just these big Roman numerals, and I never even noticed it before. I did call into a Gematria show about the number 4 specifically, how just counting the letters up, as I do, and that the number 4 specifically, whether you're calling it the 4 eyes or the IV or anything. I'm not going to go into all the numbers now, and not everybody's into the numbers and stuff, but what I was going to say was it's funny that you made that video, because I was in the middle of preparing to make a video about the Roman numeral 4 on the clocks. And then you go ahead and do that. I'm like, that's synchronicity. And then I decided, well, I'm going to hold off, because I didn't want you to think that I was just like trying to like ride the coat. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to copy you or something like that.
No. Listen, no. I never complain or anything about people doing the same thing as me. Like, if you notice, I haven't raised it. I just, when people residue hunt for me and for other people, and I just like to give them a shout out or something. You know what I'm saying? And I know since I've been giving credit to Teresa and Rena and all that, like, I know Scarab is doing the same thing. He's giving special shouts out to his residue hunters as well. I like that, because the residue hunters, for me, they're like the backbone of the whole Mandela community. If it wasn't for Teresa or Rena or some of the other people, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. I'm very thankful.
Well, good. And also it's cool that you mentioned them, because you might bring some of your audience over to them, and they'll notice some extra stuff that they never would have learned if you had not mentioned so-and-so's channel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So I guess bottom line was, if I do go ahead and make this video that I was planning to do, obviously you're not going to be bothered. But
No, not at all. You go for it, man.
very nice. Very nice.
And also, like, if anyone who wants to make a video about Super Mario Brothers too, because that to me is super, like, I can't get over it, like how the pixels look all run down now. Like in the, if anyone else wants to make videos on that, by all means, get the word out there. I don't care. Do it.
Well,
if you have like screen recording software, I use OBS. Whatever else is out there that you guys can use, by all means, if you want to record part of my video and talk about it, that's cool too. I'm all right with that. I don't make any money off these videos. I honestly don't. Like,
I want to apologize to the live chat people. When I go to live chat, everything goes blurry. I'm trying to talk to them, but like, it's been, I don't know why tonight it's just been, my screen and everything just goes really blurry. So just for them out there, I'm sorry if I'm not try to ask some questions and talk to them too at the same time, and it's just not working out tonight for some reason.
yeah, no worries. Well, I mean, we've had our mischief night last night. Sort of like it wasn't really mischief. We got to call J.C. Penney. I'm not sure. Were you here, Zenith, for that?
No, I listened. I was on my way to work, so I could actually hear like a little bit of it. Actually, did I hear the J.C. Penney part? What? Oh yeah, did they like try to blow you off or something? Like, hey.
No, it was awesome. He got the truth.
I got the truth.
Was it about Jews or something like that?
No, I always try to call these places maybe with 2 for 1.
Yeah, I heard you.
So I made
2 or something.
Did you hear it? Because let me just explain for all of you out there who didn't get to see it. Last night we called up J.C. Penney on the West Coast, and I asked the shoe salesman there, because I figured we could talk to him both about J.C. Penney and Skechers, right? So sure enough, he spells Skechers with a T, and I know that just had to light up Teresa's world. I could just hear Teresa. I could feel Teresa's bubbling energy in the background even right now. Right, Teresa? They have messed with her personally with Skechers. Okay.
Oh,
That's how I feel about JCPenney. I'm with you on JCPenney. They screwed up my world there.
the Skechers, I leave them on my shelf now, and I open the door once in a while to go peek at them.
No, Teresa, he did it for you because he was saying, I want to do it for Melissa to get the Skechers out there.
They woke me up 2 weeks before Christmas time last year. That's when I woke up. My awakening, I guess we can call this the awakening.
Well, how about that, guys? How about that Ready Whip? Zenith, did you see Ready Whip? How it's spelled without the H now?
That one.
Yeah, you know, I don't specifically remember it one way, but it looks weird. It definitely looks odd. In fact, I'm looking at a Cool Whip container right now, just as you said that.
I know it. You think it could be one of those things, maybe because we've seen so much of Cool Whip and we only buy Ready Whip when it's like special occasions, maybe, or do you think it could be?
You make a good question here, and I want to I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. I think we should definitely take into consideration things like that, because if you're trying to wake people up, or let's just say you have 9 mind-blowing effects, okay, and they're absolutely true, and everybody in the community agrees with you. And you have that one that someone's going to debunk, because you're already going to have people trying to go, nah, that's BS. They're going to come up with so many reasons why, you know, oh, you probably just saw our parody and remembered it. We have to take into consideration when you're trying to wake someone up about it, that maybe in this one instance, maybe that is the case. Maybe it really isn't some special effect. And I only say that because you don't want, you know, someone that could potentially wake up. You give them that one extra example that they can debunk.
Well,
No, I can understand that they change logos sometimes, but like I never noticed the Cool Whip until you brought it up now, and I just went on the internet and looked it up, and wow, like I didn't see that. Like I haven't got Cool Whip in a while, but like to me it just changed.
It just looks wrong, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We were talking about this before, I think, too. For some reason, certain things are spelled differently, and sometimes they do it to be, you know, to be clever or to be fancy. Sure, but going back to the Oreo double stuff and the Pogo ball, there's no reason to take out that letter. Something like that I would question. Even the whip, like what would be the reason to take out the letter H?
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. So yeah, there'll be something to consider. But also, so what the other thing I was going to say was, well, I think I already said it. Just that we might be used to, like you. I think one of you guys said you're so used to buying a Cool Whip, that if the one time that you go to look at the Ready Whip or whatever it is, it looks different because you're used to seeing the other one. We always gonna that.
I'm just looking because I remember seeing this right around. It was around Thanksgiving last year is when I noticed the Ready Whip change. What is it, Teresa? When you say "oh," it means something.
Oh, well, I got a nod too. Like in Canada, we don't call it Ready Whip; we call it Cool Whip. So,
Cool Whip.
do you guys say soda or pop
we say pop.
or Coke? If you're in the South, you say Coke.
You say Coke no matter what. If you're talking about Pepsi or Sprite or
Coke is Coke.
Coke.
No, but we don't call it Ready Whip. We call it I said Cool Whip. But even the logo up here it looks like the same as the Ready Whip one.
There is a product called Cool Whip, and there's a product called Ready Whip.
Oh, okay. Well,
But,
In Canada, we don't get ready whip, so.
well, what
Are
I
you
was going
guys
to say
see what I'm seeing? Real quick, I'm seeing the fleur-de-lis right here, sort of in the Ready Whip. It looks like the fleur-de-lis.
Oh, well, we don't have that in
That's-
Quebec, I know that.
Let me pull up the Cool Whip.
what I was going to say when you mentioned about Cool Whip and Seeker, you calling it Cool Whip even though it was Ready Whip or whatever, it makes me think of like if I want to a tissue, I'll just say, can I get a Kleenex? Like Kleenex is the brand, it's the go-to,
Yep.
facial tissue or something. But you could have a no-name brand and you're still going to say, hey, can I get a tissue? And I remember so many times.
Oh,
That was,
I've got residue for Ready Whip.
I don't
Brian,
know
Yep.
if my video's on a lag, but I just saw you.
residue. Bingo.
Go ahead, Zenith. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I think my video might be slow because I don't have any data, but did you just put like just 2 seconds ago the word Cool Whip on the screen?
Yeah, we
yeah,
still
you
have
want
we still have the H in it, but it's
But-
different though.
Look at all these sixes and the Cool Whip logo, and it's made by Kraft.
Yeah.
Kraft owns. Kraft
Oh my God.
Kraft is the distributor actually for Oscar Mayer, which is Oscar Mayer now. There's the sixes,
Yep.
and the I, and also the P.
Yep. It didn't look like that before.
What is it?
Hey, Brian,
Yes.
Hello?
keep on this Ready Whip with the
Okay. All right. Share it with me. I'm just looking at the sugar molecule. That's all.
You're going to be
We're
a little
bored.
shocked when you see it.
Hey, you
Okay.
guys, I actually have to get. I'm sorry. So,
Oh, well, real quick, Zenith.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you about your knowledge on the preamble, because in the preamble in the Constitution, instead of ensure domestic tranquility with the E, it says it with an I now, as if it's like an insurance policy or something like that. What do you remember?
I really can't say anything about that, but lawyers have certain ways of when you just change one word, it changes the whole thing. If you change a letter, it changes a word. So I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to look into that one. I can't
All
tell
right,
you.
well, let me just say it's been an awesome night, guys. We are coming to a close.
Residue.
Hold on. Let me just. Can I just share this one thing Teresa has, and that's where's that residue? I'm trying. I don't see it yet, Teresa. It hasn't popped up yet.
It's right there.
It's not showing it.
I seen it earlier, but yeah. Teresa
But
had it. Teresa had it.
Okay, there's one thing I do want to mention. Okay, and I am approaching that 666th video. Here's the thing.
Oh, Lord.
Yes,
Oh,
Richie
no.
from Boston. Richie from Boston is experiencing issues. YouTube has taken down his stuff.
They're taking
Yeah.
his videos away, man.
Yes, that's what I've heard. He's mentioned it, and it's very important. I need people to help me back up my videos because I don't always keep them on my computer for storage stuff. So if you guys are able to download some of the things, please, by all means, keep backups of the huge Mandela Effect ones.
Yeah.
You should have it now.
Okay.
I
Oh,
know.
you guys, I have 1% of my battery. I'm 20 seconds. I'll probably end up cutting.
Okay.
So I'll see.
Okay, Zenith.
Bye, dear.
Hey, Zenith. We'll look forward to having you again. Okay, and if you ever want me to come on, I'll speak on your channel as well.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Okay. God bless you, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, bud.
All right, you too.
Yeah, Seeker. Hang on. I'm gonna share this last piece of residue, and then we're gonna end on a prayer note. Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good.
What's that? Is it going through?
It's like the wheel's spinning, but nothing's happening. Let me try it again.
Sorry.
It's all right.
It's there. It's like, wow.
I can't believe the time, folks. It's already 11:42 over here anyway.
Me. Not me.
Well, of course, yeah. Hey, Teresa, I need to come over there on the West Coast and hang out with you, I guess.
Yeah, we all do. We all do, because I'm in Washington time an hour ahead, so I'm 12 o'clock here, 12:43.
Let me ask you something. When you guys do the setting the clocks ahead and back, do you do that too?
Yeah, yeah.
Do
That's
they
a whole new that's a whole new topic, because I don't think we need to do the daylight saving times thing anymore.
Well, was it saving time or savings time for you?
Savings. As an S.
Exactly.
Yep.
And Teresa doesn't have to do very much digging to find that. There's so much residue on daylight savings time.
Oh, I've done a bunch before, remember?
Yeah, I can't get to that site. It says DNS
I'm
issues
sending
on that.
I'm sending you a picture. Hold on. I downloaded the picture. Here it comes. There you go.
We may be losing the live here. I can't.
Uh-oh.
I'm having issues right now getting having DNS right now, trying to get to your residue, Teresa.
Oh, shoot. Okay, let me try it again. Hold on. Let me try it again. Now, I wonder why it's acting up like that.
It does this at the very end. Around midnight is when it starts glitching out.
Try it again.
Teresa, it's not going to work.
We're back in the matrix.
That's what I'm saying. These things come in droves, and I can't get it. I can't get it. So I'm gonna have to cut the feed. Hey guys, Seeker, will you end the prayer with us?
I would like to thank God for my father being healthy right now. I'd like to say prayers to the people in London, like with the fire, that lost their lives. I'd like to pray for all the starving children around the world, and I'd like to make a prayer to everybody to stay safe and be one with God. Amen.
Amen. That's right. That's all it is. Just be one with God and be one with yourself, and by all means be authentic.
Yeah.
You know, don't lie to people, you know, be truthful. And that's
Yep.
my goal. My goal is to tell you guys the truth. I don't bring lies. If it's a theory, I say it's theory. Okay? But yeah, thanks guys, and have a great night, and God bless. And
God bless, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Good night, guys.
Invite me again whenever you're going to have another chat. Thanks.
Well, Seeker, hang in there. I'm going to end the broadcast, okay? But just stick with me for a second.
Okay.